I accidentally revealed the truth about my husband and brother. Now everything is ruined.
They can't handle the truth.
That's right. I, 29 female, have a husband named Matt, 32 male, and an older brother named Tony, 32 male. Tony has a wife named Anna, 33 female. Tony and I both went to boarding school growing up. I went to an all-girls school and he went to an all-boys school across the country. Because of the distance, we weren't very close as kids, and I didn't know much about his life back then. By the way, this comes from user BroHub Truth, and you can submit your story to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, when Tony was at boarding school, he met my future husband, Matt, and they became best friends. At the time, Tony was dealing with depression about his sexual preferences, and Matt helped him out of it. Long story short, they ended up falling in love and having a relationship. Once they graduated high school, they broke up and lost touch. I didn't know about any of this at the time. I ended up going to the same university as Matt, which is where I met him. I didn't mention my brother initially because he wasn't really a part of my life. And since Tony and I have different last names, the three of us didn't put the pieces together until a family gathering a year later.
That's a crazy family gathering. Like you do the,
you do the, wait a minute, I know you? I know you.
Like, how do you know each other?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it was tough at first for everyone involved, but eventually we were all able to get past it, and Tony and Matt became best friends again. Matt and I got married 3 years ago. When I met Tony's partner, Anna, for the first time, I privately asked Tony if he told her about his history with Matt. Tony said it was still a new relationship and he would tell her when they were more serious. Now, Tony and Anna are married. Since Tony and Matt are so close, they often go on boys' trips with just the two of them.
Oh no.
Is this going to be Brokeback Mountain?
I think this is Brokeback Mountain.
Oh dude, this is going to be Brokeback Mountain. They took one of these trips this past weekend and everything was going fine until I got a call from Anna asking if I knew where Tony was. Apparently he told her he was going to see our parents, but she called them and he wasn't there. I told her that he was on a trip with Matt. She got upset and asked me if there was something going on between them. Thinking she already knew because she and Tony are now married, I told her not to worry because Matt and Tony's romance ended in high school. That's when I found out Tony never told her.
Opie spilled the beans.
No, you spilled the beans. Tony was furious at me when he got back because Anna is now threatening divorce and I'm tearing up his family because I told her without asking him first. Apparently, Tony didn't tell Anna the truth because he thought she wouldn't let him see Matt anymore. And now Anna wants him to cut me and Matt out completely.
Wait, does that, wait, did OP know about Matt going out with Tony too on the boys trips? Which it seems like she did.
Yeah, I think she did, and she's okay with it. Matt is upset too because he can't see Tony and he's losing his best friend all over again. My brother wants to cut me out of his life, his wife wants a divorce, and my husband is miserable all because of something I said. I feel so guilty and can't help but feel as though I messed up. Am I the a-hole? I mean, no. Clearly no. Here's an edit. I really appreciate everyone's comments. Some of them are really hard to read, but I suppose this is a wake-up call that's long overdue. I know it may seem difficult to believe that someone my age can be so naive and clueless, but being rational is something I've always struggled with. I wish it were fake. I'm realizing that this is most likely far worse than I thought it was. I won't be able to respond to individual comments for a bit, but I'm reading all of them in the meantime and will post an update when I can. Edit number 2, I've seen a lot of comments asking why I didn't say anything about the trip sooner and what I thought they were doing, so I'll just answer here. My brother has been struggling with pretty severe depression for the past few years. Because of this, he doesn't go out much or have many friends. My husband is his only close friend and the only one Tony will open up to because my husband helped him through depression when they were younger. The outings with Matt are one of the few things that make my brother happy. Matt always told me they do regular things like play video games and watch movies and go biking, so I didn't think too much into it. Even with Matt being Tony's ex, I thought it was more like Matt was helping his friend through a tough time. That's not how that works.
Maybe.
Oh, times are tough? Well, maybe. I'm gonna kiss your mouth. I don't know, man. I see how stupid I was to assume that, but that was my thought process. At 3, please don't let this post be a justification for any phobias towards the gay community. Whatever happens with my brother and my husband isn't reflective of those people as a whole. Last edit, wow, I stepped away for a bit and there's a ton of comments. Won't be able to respond individually as there's a lot going on right now, but I'll still be reading. Before I sign off, Couple quick updates. Matt agreed to tell me everything after I've given him some time and space to process all of this. As much as I and probably you all want answers now, that's what we'll be doing. Still no word from brother or sister-in-law. I'm going to give it a rest for the day and try to focus on something that doesn't terrify me. I'll be back with a separate update post when things make more sense. Thank you all. Also, I have seen Brokeback Mountain.
Wow.
Evidently, it's a lot more fun on screen than it is in real life.
Oh my. Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be hard to realize that your husband's sexuality is not what you thought it was. We can't jump to conclusions, but there's an update, so let's jump into that. After I gave my husband space, I confronted him about his trips with my brother. He agreed to be honest with me about the relationship. As some of you suspected, Matt knew when we first met that I was Tony's sister and started dating me to get close to Tony again.
No way.
Oh my God.
Okay. Keep reading.
Did not expect that.
Keep reading.
He claimed that in the first year of our relationship, before he reunited with Tony, he genuinely fell in love with me. When Tony saw us together, he admitted to Matt that he still loved him and was distraught when Matt said he didn't feel the same way. Eventually, they made amends and became close friends again. Around the time Matt married me, Tony fell into a deep depression.
The correlation? Is there a correlation there?
Don't like this. That's when the trips started. Matt told me that initially he was just supporting Tony as a friend, but Tony broke down on one of the trips and confessed that he never stopped loving Matt, and he was lying about the trips to his wife because he felt guilty, which is also why he never told her about their history. He begged Matt to keep this a secret to protect their relationship. According to Matt, nothing physical ever happened between them. I pushed him on why Anna thought there was something going on, and Matt eventually admitted that they were having an emotional affair. A few months ago, Anna overheard a phone call between Tony and Matt that made her suspicious, so she went through Tony's phone and confronted him about some things she found. No hard proof, but enough to make her uneasy. She told Tony that she didn't want him hanging out with Matt anymore, but he did anyway until I accidentally ratted him out. My brother and sister-in-law have totally cut contact, so I don't have anyone to corroborate my husband's story. I still don't know how much of it I believe. If it's true, I don't know why Anna never told me anything. The whole thing sounds too ridiculous to be real, but for now, it's all I have. Matt apologized nonstop and wants to work through this, which I can't even think about right now. The past couple of weeks have been awful. Matt moved out. We both agreed that we need distance before making any decisions about our marriage, but I don't see us coming back from this. I don't think I'll ever be able to trust anyone again. The worst thing is, I have only myself to blame for being so effing naive and not seeing the massive red flags sooner, and for marrying my brother's ex in the first place. More than anything, I feel so incredibly guilty, which, I mean, you're not guilty. You didn't even do anything wrong. Yeah, you were operating from your version of reality, which, you know,
you feel bad because everyone else feels bad for their decisions, but that's on them.
It's Matt and Tony. Yeah. Matt and Tony were the ones who decided to lie to Anna.
Yeah, and you. So you did nothing wrong. You're not an a-hole. You did nothing wrong, and that's their fault that they feel like this, and now they're pinning the blame on you because you said the truth that should have been brought out a long time ago.
Correct. You spoke the truth. And I will now speak a truth as well, which is that you can get full episodes with stories like this streamed directly into your ear holes. All you need to do is go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any place where you listen to podcasts and search OK Storytime. And there you have it. Before we finish this story, clearly this is gone on some twists and turns. It's pretty freaking wild.
I still think this is like Brokeback Mountain. That this is like it without the
Brokeback Mountain, but just strictly emotionally. Apparently,
Brokeback
apparently,
yeah, that we don't know. But I think Matt moving out. I'm with OP. Like, I don't think how can you come back?
I don't know how you can. I think you definitely need space to be able to make the decision. But like, such a fundamental breaking of trust, especially the dropping the bomb of like, yeah, I got with you knowing that you were his sister, and the reason I started dating you was to eventually get close to him.
And that's like, yeah, that's all bad.
It's like,
that's not good.
Our life is a lie. Oh, our life is a lie.
Our love is a lie. Your love is a lie.
And it's like, no, but I really do love you. It's like, yeah, but do you love my brother more?
But you've been hanging out with my brother a lot more.
If you really love me like that, would you have lied to me like that whole time?
Yeah, because guess what? Tony confessed his love, and like, you can't tell anyone.
Let's finish this story. This was not the ending I'd hoped for, but I'm grateful that I at least have some answers now. Honestly, I'm not sure I would have had the courage to directly confront this if not for my post here. So despite everything, maybe we can all think of this as a somewhat happy ending. Thank you all for your comments and support. And there is a quick edit. The outpouring of love and support from this sub is incredibly moving to me. Thank you so much for all of your comments, awards, and messages. I can't express enough how much I appreciate it. I can't respond directly to all the comments, but rest assured you have my gratitude. And that is the end of the story.
Yeah, just focus on yourself, OP, and
Indeed.
see where things go. That's crazy. I would try and reach out to Anna, but I don't know. There's something you can do at this moment is just do you.
I'm going to do my own
I'm
thing.
going to do my own thing. And we're going to get you another story.
And
just stay tuned.
That's my thing. My thing is giving you the next story. I want to call out my father and sister-in-law for being selfish. I don't think they've ever cared about our family.
Dang, Daddy.
I, 32 female, have been married to my amazing hubby, 37 male, for 10 years. We live in a small town where I was born and raised and have a huge family. By the way, this comes from user Chica Yertude 101 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, my hubby is not from here, but his mom's extended family is here. Our town is where his parents decided to retire. My sister-in-law lives in another state. One brother-in-law lives several hours away in the same state as us, and my other brother-in-law lives out of the country. So, it's us, the kiddos, and his parents as far as his family is concerned. My family has always welcomed my in-laws for holidays and family functions. My family has also helped us when my in-laws got sick. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law passed away a few years ago after suffering from dementia. This woman was a saint, and we miss her terribly.
Aww.
My hubby and I were here to help with my mother-in-law. We would come over and help, cook and clean, and take them to the doctor's appointments. My sister-in-law never came down and would avoid coming here at all costs. She would rather make her elderly parents pay to travel and see her. That's gross. When she did come and visit, she would still be working from home, and my father-in-law would sing her praises. He made it sound like she was the only one who cared and the only one who ever did anything for them. Hubby and I ignored this, knowing that we were the ones actually doing all the dirty work. When my mother-in-law passed, my sister-in-law didn't even come to the funeral.
Wow.
She said it wasn't.
That's her mom, right?
Yeah, that's
Bro,
that's
can't
crazy.
go to your own mom's funeral?
You're never too busy with anything to do that. You will always
Except
be
for chat.
able to get time off for that, I would hope. Her reasoning was that she said it was not worth the risk of COVID. Personally, I would have crossed the river of fire itself if it meant being there for my family and being at my mom's funeral.
Yeah.
My father-in-law was disappointed, but kept making excuses for sister-in-law. Hubby and I felt really hurt considering my father-in-law's sister came out of state for the funeral and my brother-in-law came as well. Mother-in-law was his stepmom, but he loved her all the same. Things moved on and sister-in-law never came down for a visit even after restrictions were lifted. She claimed coming to see her dad and family wasn't worth the risk and it was too expensive. However, she went overseas for 2 different trips and traveled cross-country with her friends during this exact same time period.
You are such a hypocrite. Oh my God.
This is the worst.
Wow.
This is the worst daughter maybe ever.
That's infuriating.
She insisted that her dad, who is starting to show signs of dementia, travel across the country to come see her. He did this 3 times in 1 year. Oh, dude.
Stop it.
I mean, father-in-law, what a winner though.
Bro,
right? 3
grandpa's
times cross country, long hauling it. Got them strong
Jeez.
jeans.
Well, apparently.
So fast forward to this year, father-in-law was officially diagnosed with dementia. Hubby and I are trying to work with sister-in-law on a game plan to keep father-in-law home as long as possible and make his life as easy as possible. His home and car are paid off and he is well off to ensure his golden years are very comfortable. Hubby and I struggle to help father-in-law because we both work full-time and sister-in-law is no help whatsoever. All 3 of us agree that a sitter or aide should be hired to come help father-in-law with daily activities and start doing all the driving for him. We had agreed on this and we're in the process of hiring someone. 2 weeks ago, hubby took father-in-law to the doctor for an appointment. Father-in-law starts going on and on about how he is moving to the same city as sister-in-law and he's moving into a retirement village. Hubby kind of shrugs it off, thinking father-in-law is just rambling or something. Hubby calls sister-in-law and she confirms that she's looking into a retirement village for father-in-law to move into. And we are shocked.
Oh.
Father-in-law would be moving from a southern warmer climate to a freezing frozen climate.
No.
Father-in-law hates being cold. Hubby and I expressed concern about such an extreme move could speed up father-in-law's decline due to the dementia. When mother-in-law was diagnosed, the doctor stressed keeping a routine and letting her living at home as long as possible, which I didn't know that. That's really interesting. If you have worked with dementia patients or have a loved one who went through it, I've done both, then you know that routine and familiarity helps dementia patients survive longer. Plus, he would have gone from a paid-off 2,000 square foot home to a monthly rent of $3,000 of an 1,100 square foot apartment. It just makes no sense to Hubby and I. Well, that doesn't make sense to anybody. Also, sister-in-law is trying to convince us that she and her friends will be constantly visiting him and he will never be lonely. We told her that she travels for work a lot and travels across the country and out of country several times a year for work and for pleasure. We are worried that father-in-law is thinking that sister-in-law will be there all the time. She admits that she's never home long for work. So in reality, father-in-law will be in a new place, in a new state, with no one around him that he knows. It makes absolutely no sense to us.
The recipe for success.
Yeah. If your definition of success is inheriting everything from your dementia having father. That's
exactly
crazy.
Dude, it's so
yeah,
the sister-in-law pisses me off.
This cannot happen.
She's no longer family. I don't know why. Like,
yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
She's getting
That's
14.
So true.
She's getting number 14.
Yeah,
straight up.
like you're blood, but you're not blood.
My hubby has been taking this whole situation really hard and feels like he's being abandoned, that he is not good enough for his family. I don't know what to do to help him. I want to tell father-in-law and sister-in-law that they are being selfish a-holes and don't care about family or the ones who have actually been there for him. Would I be the a-hole if I did call them a-holes? I think maybe if you called them a-holes, you might be dancing into that territory because the father-in-law has dementia and like doesn't.
Yeah, is she
might
asking
not
calling
be,
the father-in-law an a-hole?
I think calling both of them, yeah, is what she said.
Okay, yeah. I mean, father-in-law, he doesn't know what to do. He's got dementia, like.
Yeah.
But the sister-in-law, yeah. Why? Yeah. Why would
Sister-in-law,
she?
yeah.
I guess because he's like going along with the plan.
I guess.
But yeah, he just doesn't like you can't trust that he knows any better.
So here's the update.
Here we go.
Father-in-law planned a week-long visit with sister-in-law to look at potential retirement villages. He was supposed to be coming back home in a week. They called us and said he has signed on the dotted line and will not be back. He didn't even say goodbye to his son or his grandkids. When we asked about his house and all his stuff, he said he didn't care, that he's finally happy and getting what he wants. Neither father-in-law or sister-in-law has called me or hubby since father-in-law left town. Hubby is devastated and feels like he isn't good enough to even receive a proper goodbye from his dad. Well, we have another update.
Yeah.
Let's dive right in.
Let's do it.
So thank you to everyone who has advised and offered sympathy or empathy. I feel like I need to clarify the level of dementia that we are dealing with.
Yes.
Father-in-law was diagnosed with the beginning stages, so the doctor did not feel it necessary to revoke his license. While living here, he was able to live alone and drive himself around. He normally just drove himself to lunch once a day and then stayed at home all day. We had a tracker on his phone just in case he got lost. Before he left, he started getting forgetful and lost in our small town. This is why we suggested an aide come take him places and drive him places.
Yeah.
Father-in-law would blow up our phone 10 to 15 times a day about the same thing over and over. We understood it was the disease, but as soon as he said he was moving, he ghosted us. No more phone calls from him. Well, it's like, I don't know.
I think what OP's maybe hinting at, but not saying directly, is maybe it's more than just the sister-in-law ghosting or sister-in-law like brainwashing him. Maybe it is like the facilities he does still have is being an a-hole in OP's eyes. Because like if it is, I was gonna ask like, oh, what is the stage and like what's the context of where the disease is at? Because I mean, it seems like it's kind of teetering on the border. I could very much see it's just a sister-in-law just like brainwashing him, and even if there are some of like even if he does still have some of his facilities still there and is being an a-hole, I feel like the sister-in-law is at a bare minimum influencing him.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what I
sure
mean?
that there's no way that Miss I'm too busy to go to my own mom's funeral actually cares.
Yes.
She's just brainwashing him probably to try to get him to sign over all of his assets to her.
100%.
Mm-hmm. For more location context, we live in the southeast United States. Father-in-law has moved to the northern Midwest to a very windy city, so they're talking about Chicago. I wish we could go and see him as much as we want to, but due to limited income, we can't afford 4 people round-trip tickets. It would make more sense for father-in-law and sister-in-law to come visit us since they have more expendable income. For those saying I should be more empathetic to my father-in-law's disease, it's a different story if you are living it in real life. When you see the switch from bumbling old man too perfectly capable in a matter of seconds because he's around certain people. It tends to get under your skin. We want him to live his best life as long as possible, and a nursing facility was a last resort. He begged us to never put him in a home. Then sister-in-law suggests moving 2 blocks away from him, and he's all for it. He's moving into a retirement village. We are concerned for his well-being. We know sister-in-law is pretty much abandoning him there because she's not going to change her lifestyle for him. For the last 3 years, our schedule has consisted of our own family things plus moving things around to accommodate father-in-law. Sister-in-law has never had to put her plans on hold for father-in-law. And we have a third update.
Yeah, this is weird. He literally yeah, I feel like maybe the dementia has reached the tipping point and the sister-in-law is brainwashing so hard.
Yeah.
She's probably saying terrible things about OP's whole like family unit. Like, I think I'm now on the back on the side of like, yeah, she's just completely manipulating.
I think it might just also be like the dementia. Well, I mean, yeah, she's definitely manipulating. And I mean, she might just be able to be like, well, you always liked the cold. And he could just be like, oh, I did?
Yeah.
I did.
You're saying it's like a perfect storm, right? Like the dementia is maybe causing him to be have some bitterness or whatever. And she's like brainwashing him at the same time.
Yeah, which
unfortunate.
Is super unfortunate.
Super sad.
Oh, let's hope the third update, she gets her comeuppance.
Aha.
Okay, update 3. Sister-in-law promises to make father-in-law a priority. Oh, then abandons him on Christmas. Oh, no!
Of course! We could have never predicted.
Oh, hey there. I, 32 female, posted a story a couple months ago about my sister-in-law convincing my father-in-law to move away from his paid-off life and moving across the country. With it being Christmas, we wanted to call and check on father-in-law to see how it was going. Hubby, 37 male, called father-in-law and wished him a Merry Christmas. He asked what plans he and sister-in-law had for today. Father-in-law informs us that sister-in-law is in another state and has been there for 3 days and won't be back until December 26th. We asked if it was a work-related trip and he said he didn't think so. Hubby reached out to sister-in-law and she has been deflecting the question of what her and father-in-law are going to do for Christmas. She says they went out for dinner the day before she left and that it was wonderful. When he asked about today, she changed the subject. So for father-in-law's first Christmas away from his family, he's sitting in a retirement village alone.
How merry.
Other residents are out with their families, so it's pretty quiet, while sister-in-law is sipping on pina coladas on the beach. Wow, and you know what's even better than pina coladas on the beach?
Tell me, Dakota.
Listening to full episodes with stories like this, you just maybe not quite as sad. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime.
Binge 'em.
Bing bong. There you go. Woo! So, does this story end with them explaining, hey, so the one who abandoned you on Christmas, not the good one?
I mean, I feel like, you got to go in for, it's that final moment. You know, you're an inch from the finish line. Just send it and be like, yo, this is not good. We need to take you out. Let's bring you back. You always said you didn't want to be in a retirement village. I think just go for it at this point, because if we don't say it now, are we ever going to have that opportunity? The dementia is probably only progressing.
Right.
You know, I think hopefully this last little bit we have is what happens. Let's see. Hopefully they go in and try to make it right.
Yes. All right. Let's see how this goes.
Okay.
So, before he moved away, father-in-law would always spend the holidays with us so he wouldn't be alone. And before we moved, we told sister-in-law we were afraid that he'd be lonely. She swore she would make him a priority, but her life hasn't changed since he moved there. She still continues to live her own life. We have bent over backwards and made father-in-law a priority. All decisions were made with him in mind. Now he's moved away from any and all family, and sister-in-law can't be bothered to put her father first. He literally lives 2 blocks away from her. I feel bad for my father-in-law, but I also don't, because we told him sister-in-law would not make him a priority. And that is the end.
Wow.
Oh, man, I guess there's nothing legally you can do. It's like he signed it. He was a witness. He had a witness.
You could probably sue for like, he wasn't in his right mind. Something like that. Signed under duress?
Maybe, but like
that.
But like, would you want to do that? Especially
No.
what's
true.
the point?
It's not.
What are you trying to get out of that?
Yeah.
I mean, money, but try and get him back to you, but
because at this point, he's stating how he feels. He's like, oh, I don't want to leave. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, well, you know what?
it's just like an immovable. It's like an unstoppable force. Like,
Yes.
at this point, what's the point anymore?
Yeah.
Like you just keep butting your head against the wall.
Say your piece, move on. That's what OP did.
Not much you can do.
My mother-in-law is toxic, so we cut her off.
Cut her off!
Cut her off! Hi there. Apologies in advance for the long post. I've known my now husband for close to 20 years. Married for close to 7.
Dang.
Hey! Anyway, my husband's sister and I were best friends. Keyword were. By the way, this comes from Swordfish 545. That's a tongue twister on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we met randomly on one Halloween at a gay bar. Another long story, but no, neither of us were interested in the same sex, and we immediately became besties.
That's actually really funny.
That is really
Two straight people met at a gay bar.
Yeah.
That's messed up, honestly. That's
That's
you. I'm not gonna lie.
How dare you? During Pride Month? Wow.
Yeah, come on.
We were the complete opposites. She was loud and boisterous while I was the introvert. Fast forward a few years and a few failed relationships. My grandmother was ill and given a life expectancy of 6 to 8 weeks. Oh no. I currently was in a very bad relationship. He was and physically harmful, as well as everything that is the definition of. My husband messaged me on Facebook saying that he thought we were friends, but apparently not. I had to delete all male friends as the ex whom I was still living with was so super controlling.
Gross.
Ugh. But husband stated if I needed anyone to talk to, he was available as he was a truck driver with nothing but time to listen. I explained my situation to him as best I could, and he said that he would do whatever I needed to get me away from the monster that was my ex. Awesome. Woo. Thanks to that guy. I wound up saving his phone number in my phone under a girl's name. Sneaky, I know, but it was the only way I could vent. I wasn't even allowed to talk to my best friend, his sister. Oh, his sister.
You weren't allowed to talk to his sister?
I guess not, as she was a bad influence. Wow. But I finally got away from the Yay, yay. A few months later, my husband asked if I would possibly want to date him. A few months after getting out of that?
That's crazy.
That's really fast.
That is really fast to be like, hey, I know I just got you out of a really
Shit.
dangerous thing, but
yeah. I was in no place to start dating another guy. There we go. At that point, and he understood. But he's
okay, cool.
But yeah, maybe I should just read the story and then I
Maybe
don't
you
have
should
to
just
get mad.
freaking read.
Yeah. But stated that he wasn't going anywhere and he'd be there whenever I was ready.
What a man.
Amazing. Husband is a great man. A few weeks after that conversation, the ex showed up. Oh boy. Tried breaking down my door while my kids were asleep, not his kids, and I called my friend, the new guy. I told him that I was thankful for everything he did to help me through the loss of my grandmother. She was more of a mom than my mom ever was, and for helping me get out of the bad relationship I had been in. I told him for that I loved him, but that I was sure I would never get the chance to tell him that in person because my ex was there having a psychotic breakdown. He didn't miss a beat and said, I only did it because you are my sister's best friend and you were there for her when our dad passed, and I love you more than you know. Wow. Thankfully, the neighbors called the police and he was hauled away and I was able to get a restraining order. Oh, good. Woo. A few months later, I decided I would try to date my best friend's brother. And it was such an amazing change. He was everything a girl could dream of. Romantic, sweet, loving, great with my kids. You name it, he did it. I decided to invite his entire family over to my place for a dinner and to get to know me. I asked my best friend what everyone liked to eat and she said, it really doesn't matter. My mom will hate you no matter what you do, but she will be nice to your face. Wow.
Real.
Okay.
My stepmom is great on the other hand, but if you want some brownie points, make a lemon meringue pie, as that's her favorite. So I did just that. The day arrived, his mom walked in, gave me a once over, and barely said hello, while the stepmom wrapped me in a hug and said, welcome to the family. I never truly believed some of the stories that my bestie told me about her mom, as they were pretty outlandish, and as far as I was concerned, nobody could ever be as bad as my own mother. But boy, was I wrong.
Uh-oh.
My husband never really cared much to talk about her or his upbringing, and after what I had gone through with my own family, I didn't really push it. Fast forward 3 months, and I planned my twins' birthday party for my weekend off. 4 months from the day I initially planned the party out. Wow, that's a far away. I sent out Facebook invites to everyone, including his family. They all said that they would love to come. Thanksgiving rolls around, and we're at his extended family's house for celebrations. His mom waits until my husband-to-be steps outside for a cig and pipes up that she's planned a surprise party for her mother. It's for the same day and time of my daughter's party in Maine, which is a 5-hour drive from where we are. Wow.
Going to ends.
Wow.
Come on.
That's
Come
crazy.
on.
That's
Did you just pick
personal.
Did you just find a lady who had a birthday at the same time?
She just chose. She's like,
She was
this
like-
is your birthday now.
Yeah.
This is where the
Your
party is.
birthday now.
I kindly pointed out that she'd already RSVP'd to my kids' party, and she turns on me and screams in Fran Drescher's voice, "My son already lost his father. You expect him to lose his grandmother too? He's really close to her. How selfish of a effing little bee can you be?"
Dang.
Everyone rate my impression. I have never watched that show.
I love that show, but I haven't seen it in a
clips.
while.
I've seen clips of just her outfits.
Oh, her outfits are amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
She's great. I love that.
I felt like I was 2 inches tall. Plus, having just lost the only grandmother I knew really stung. I said, well, I have close to 50 people coming to the party, you included, so I'm not sure what I can do. She told me to push it back just one day, that people will understand, and that if they couldn't, then they weren't really my friends. So I told my husband about the party, but didn't say anything about the conversation his mother had with me,
Have a
while
conversation.
everyone just stared at me. Yeah, I would definitely tell him.
I'd be like, your mom said this to me.
yeah, like, husband,
Your mom said it was mean to me.
I pushed my kids' party one day and we made the trek to Maine. We walk into the party and Grandma was floored to see my husband as she hadn't seen him in 15 years. Wow. But according to his mother, he was so close.
This is why you talk to your husband.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, definitely communication. What the
Yeah,
heck?
come on.
So Petty Me started asking people when they'd found out about the surprise party. Mind you, this was almost 20 days after the Thanksgiving incident. They found out the effing day before.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Come on.
I then told Hubby to be exactly what had transpired, and he was so pissed that we immediately left. We were there for all of an hour. The next day, my kids' party happened, and only 3 people were able to come due to other events: church, wedding, a funeral, and other family gatherings. 50 to 3 people. It was 50 people originally, and then it got downsized to 3 because that's all that could come because of the date change.
Were they to the kid's birthday party?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
That's
I wouldn't
terrible.
have changed the This is why you need to talk to your husband before you do these.
Right.
You could have been like, hey, like your mom really wants you to go to your grandma's wedding, or
Yeah,
your
like, how do
grandma's
you feel?
birthday party. Yeah.
Right.
Dude,
Would you rather that, or do you want to like keep our daughter's
Yeah.
birthdays the same?
Yeah. His family never showed, but it was only a 5-hour drive. I told my husband that I would never again rearrange my life for that bee again, and that she had a newfound enemy because she screwed with my kids. Don't talk to me and my son ever again. Ever again.
You better
hear me?
You better count your days.
Count your days.
You're messing with their son.
Yeah.
You're gonna be messing with these fists.
Oh.
Ba, 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 ba.
Oh.
Chow, chow, chow.
That's right.
Wham.
That's right. Fast forward a year, we got engaged.
No way.
Congrats! I told him way before we even discussed marriage that if I ever found someone who wanted to marry me, I was doing it on a certain date, as it was my grandparents' anniversary and they raised me and taught me what love was. That is so sweet.
Aw.
But also, I see yous in the chat. I
Uh-oh.
see yous in the chat. Something's gonna be wrong with schedules.
And the mom's gonna say your grandma's birthday is actually on that day. And
You're
Opie's
actually
gonna be
wrong.
like, wasn't grandma's birthday like in May last time? She's like, well,
Like, no, I never said that.
no, that was your grandmother's anniversary.
Yeah. Just straight up gaslighting, right?
Yeah.
He agreed and said that the date was perfect. We went to the families for New Year's Day and told them. All were excited and wanted to see the ring. My husband-to-be worked out of town for 4 to 6 weeks at a time and would only be home 3 to 4 days. So that night, he left for work, and a week later, his mother blew up my phone stating that I needed to change the date because her daughter, Coco, was graduating from college that day. I told her no, because the college is only a 5-hour drive from the wedding venue, and if she couldn't make it, then she didn't have to be there. Anyway, Coco 2.0 was supposed to be a bridesmaid as well as my best friend and the half-sister, whom I adore. Group Facebook messages were sent out to the bridesmaids showing them the dresses we picked, and they had 4 to 5 different styles, and the one with the most votes was the dress. All were $99. The mother again blew up my phone saying that $99 was too much to ask anyone to pay, and that the bride's family is supposed to pay for everything wedding related. That doesn't really happen much anymore.
Yeah, no.
My grandparents were passed away at this point. Reason number 2 for choosing the day we chose. My mother is very much like Coco, and I've severed ties with her for the most part. And my father was retired and barely makes ends meet. So,
Oh, because the mom is Coco and then her daughter is Coco 2.0.
oh. I see. So my husband and I were paying for the wedding. She kept going on and on about the dresses. And I told her the only way I could afford dresses for everybody was if I bought black trash compactor bags. Looking back, I can understand a bit when she freaked out saying I was calling her daughter's trash. That was not my intention, but if the shoe fits, wear it. That's definitely not what you were doing.
No.
Not at all.
You're just saying you're poor. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Poor, not rich.
yeah, it's saying that that's just what you could afford is trash bags. And it's not that you want that. You don't want trash bags. You want
a
pretty
pretty
dresses.
dress.
Exactly. Petty, maybe. She kept going on about every detail about our day. Husband told her that if she kept it up, he would hire security and throw her out on her A. Coco 2.0 called me every unimaginable name in the book and said that she was not going to be part of our day filled with hatred. At this point, both of us were like, whatever, and told her that if she chose to come, then so be it. She just wasn't allowed to wear the color of the bridal party. But she showed up in that color.
Come on, lady.
And the mom showed up in black because she was in mourning.
For what?
For what?
She's like, I'm in mourning of that you're getting married.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Husband refused to do a mother-son dance with her, but did one with the stepmother. All in all, it was a great day. And yes, we did have security there just in case, but aside from the black dress, she was on her best behavior. Since then, my husband had severed ties with her as she went all around the town saying that I should have been the one who passed away as her daughter.
Oh my God.
My bestie and I had the vid at the same time. He told her to not contact him unless she was passing away because he didn't care. That's a crazy thing to
That's
say.
insane.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
That is insane. What
That's
a horrible, horrible thing to say.
So far past the line. She has so far not contacted him, and it will be a year in January. By the way, you know what's not crossing the line? Is going to your favorite podcast app, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever you choose. Search OK Storytime, and then you'll find more episodes with full stories, just like this one. Okay?
That's not crossing the line.
That's not crossing the line at all. That's perfectly reasonable.
That's perfectly reasonable.
There is a little bit more to this story, but oh my gosh,
Yeah, this mom is whack.
Yeah.
Whack-a-doodle.
She just keeps getting worse.
So much worse.
She keeps getting worse. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Like she just started from hating you no matter what.
Yeah, and then she really hated you.
She really hated you. And then it became really personal. And it's like, well, I thought you just hated me because you're a crazy person.
I thought you just hated everyone, but now I'm finding out that you hate just me specifically a lot.
Like, what's going on?
What's going on?
What's
Let's
going
have
on
a face-to-face little chat.
Yeah.
What's your deal with me?
Let's talk about it. Get me on the phone.
Let's chit-chat, man.
Get her on the stream.
Yeah.
Call her up.
Call her up.
But anyway, there
Bet
is
you won't.
a little bit more.
Let's read it.
This woman also got physical with me while I was pregnant with her grandson.
Come on.
Wow. She flipped out on my husband saying that I can't keep her from her grandchild just because I hate her. Newsflash, Coco. I don't hate you. I just don't need my child brainwashed by someone who hates his mother when I really don't think I did anything wrong. So am I the a-hole for standing my ground and not letting Coco and Coco 2.0 walk all over me in our lives?
You are not.
Not at all. Thank you and sorry for the long read. Would love to know if my husband and I are right in cutting contact. And there is an update. Oh, it's a quick update. I'm going to do it really quick. Quick update. Coco recently tried to worm her way back into our lives 2 days ago. And he told her to go get bent.
Good.
Boom.
Get bent, Coco. We don't want you in our lives, you diabolical witch.
That's the end of the story.
That's the end of the story.
Do we need any final thoughts? I guess.
Do you have any final thoughts?
I mean, I guess it's just crazy.
My sister-in-law wants me to cover my tattoos for her wedding because it's unholy. But their dresses are revealing.
What?
I, 25 female, was set to be a bridesmaid for my sister-in-law, 31 female, for her upcoming wedding. My sister-in-law can be a control freak and has a tendency to set expectations that are pretty unrealistic or inconsiderate at times. As you would imagine, that would apply to what she would request of her bridesmaids for her wedding. By the way, this comes from user Dependent Laugh 4765 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I know people have differing opinions when it comes to bridesmaids dresses, but I'm someone who follows the opinion that the bride should have final say, as it is per day, especially if the bridesmaid dresses are being paid for. However, regardless of who is paying, I also think that brides should be mindful that if they want everyone to wear the exact same dress, it would be respectful to check if everyone is comfortable with certain styles, especially if there are people in the group who might dress up a little more modestly. In this specific situation, all the bridesmaids had to pay, which I obviously didn't mind. Here's the thing. My sister-in-law asked her 3 closest friends first and already decided on the same dress for everyone to wear together before she asked me. I had no expectation that she would ask me to be involved, so I had no idea what they picked. If there is one thing you should know, is that I dressed pretty modestly, especially at church since it's a church wedding. The dress they picked out was pushing my personal comfort level. It was a lilac chiffon, one-shoulder, floor-length dress with a slit that goes way above the knee, basically up to where most of my upper thigh would be exposed. I didn't want to make a big deal over it because they had already decided on it together, and since it's what my sister-in-law really wanted, I kept my concern to myself. I low-key wish we all decided together, especially since there were 3 more people, including myself, that were not asked to be bridesmaids until after. Even though the dress wasn't within my modesty standards, I still decided to go along with it because I didn't want drama and just wanted to make her happy. My plan was to change after the festivities during the reception, which a couple more bridesmaids had already planned to do, and my sister-in-law didn't mind. I thought things were going to be okay until my sister-in-law told me last week that she didn't want my tattoos to be noticeable and wanted them covered as it would be inappropriate in church, and didn't want them in picture. I am tatted on my wrist, shoulders, and on the back. The tattoos on my shoulders and back are not small pieces and are very noticeable with the dress that was picked out. She told me that she's been concerned about them showing because of the dress, and keep in mind, she knows about my tattoos, and the dress was still picked knowing that they would show. I was annoyed, but since I already paid for the dress, I asked if I could wear a shawl, and she said no, because she didn't want me to stand out from the rest of the group, especially since I'm not the maid of honor. She suggested this foundation that covers tattoos, which was $40 to $50, and I'm not going to spend that much on a foundation I'm not going to use again. Plus, there's a chance it will get on my dress and make a mess.
There's almost a guarantee that
Yeah.
it will get on your dress.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Foundation gets everywhere.
So I told her I didn't think it was fair to expect this of me when she knows I have tattoos and picked the dress that would have them show. If she had a problem, why pick something without sleeves or ask me to be a bridesmaid if she was going to be adamant about this style, knowing she didn't want my tattoos being visible? Maybe she just forgot. I don't know. I feel like we're getting hung up on that. She probably just wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah, but just like for the fact that she's after the fact being like so unable to compromise beyond like making her put on pounds of foundation.
This should be the moment where she's like, oh, I did pick a dress that won't work for you.
Let me
You can have a
fix it.
different one.
Yeah.
Right? Come on. She said I was being unfair and that it was her day. All she's asking is for me to accommodate and that it would not look good for a Catholic wedding. When she said that, I got mad because it's always the people who start with the religious guilt that don't even follow their own faith and are quick to judge. My sister-in-law literally has done and continues to do everything in the book that would not be okay for a practicing Catholic to do, but I never judge her because I have a past too and I still struggle. Yet, for her to say it would not be appropriate for a Catholic wedding is just hypocritical and made me feel like I was going to make it unholy somehow. I got tatted when I walked away from my faith, but I came back to it and I'm pretty devout now despite my struggles with my shortcomings. For her to say I'm not accommodating is just beyond me because she already knows how I dress now, especially in a church setting. I even cover my hair at church, and I still pushed my convictions and preferences aside and wear this for her because I wanted to keep the peace and not make a fuss. When I told her all of this, she started making comments about how I'm being selfish for not putting on the foundation and then proceeded to say that dress looks trashy on me anyways.
Girl, you picked it.
Because
you
of my
picked
body?
it.
Yeah, you picked it.
You picked it.
It's your trashy dress that you plucked from the dumpster, I guess.
Yeah,
Since it's so
we were right about
trashy.
the trash bag.
Yeah, we're going back to dumpster wedding.
Yeah.
We're going to get married in the dumpster on 6th Street. Everyone's wearing a garbage bag.
And it's going to get a little wet.
It's going to
There's
get a little
some
stinky.
juices in there.
It's going to get wet and stinky.
Watch
I
out.
prefer the bag to have juices in it because it would fit with the theme. And if you refuse, you're rude.
You're out of there.
Hey,
It's unholy.
I'm on the curvy side and unfortunately have a large chest, so certain styles will make me look bigger and emphasize my chest, and that's what the dress did to me. Not trying to brag, go off queen. I personally don't like it, hence why I'm mindful of how I dress, but it's unlike it's in my control as to how the dress would fit and look on me, but it's overall why I prefer to be more covered. And I just have to really quickly say, I hate it when faiths and cultures make people feel bad about their physical bodies.
That's your body.
That should be a red flag for Catholicism right there. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel.
The whole point about Catholicism is that God made you in his image.
Yeah, except you. You look, I don't like the way you look.
Yeah, it's like, no.
You should feel bad about your large chest. And that's God told me that. I just ended the conversation with, if it's going to continue to be an issue, I don't want to trouble her further and would rather she pick someone else because we can't see eye to eye. I feel bad for dropping, but her wedding is not for 5 months, and I just think that it's for the best I'm no longer part of the bridal party. Am I the a-hole? And there's an edit, but I'm going to say no right away.
No, you're not the a-hole. I
Clearly
mean,
you're not.
again, like, first, she picked a dress without talking to you about anything. And then she said she made like demands that just are unreasonable about like you putting foundation on. Then when you tried to provide solutions like putting a shawl on, she was like, no. It's like, I don't know. I don't even want.
I don't want you to look like the maid of honor. Your honor is not high enough.
Not high enough
It's
for
like, well, then
my
I don't know.
wedding.
Give your maid of honor a little crown.
Yeah, make everyone look a little bit different.
Yeah, give everyone a different.
I'm sorry, we're
headpiece.
not all freaking twins.
Yeah.
All your bridesmaids aren't gonna look different, regardless of how similar the dress is, because they're different people.
Well, no, don't you know that if you wear the same like shirt as somebody, it's just like you become identical.
You become them.
It's like
Apologies.
it's a new thing that they're rolling out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're trying a new thing with the clothing
They're
now.
trying a new thing.
Mhm.
We'll see how it goes.
It's clone thing.
Clothing.
Clone thing. Get your clothing. All right, I'm moving on from that. Okay, here's the edit. Hey, everybody, OP here. Just to clarify something in response to some of the comments that wasn't mentioned in this post earlier, this sister-in-law is my husband's sister. None of my brothers are married. Trust me, I would have responded to her a little differently if that were the case, but since she is my husband's blood, it's his job to put her in check because that's his sister, which he did already. I can totally make another post to share what happened in that conversation between the two of them, but I don't know if I want to do that because it's a lot to unpack. Thank you for the comments. It's definitely made me feel better about my decision instead of feeling bad, and we definitely have an update. I was debating whether or not to post this, but since a decent amount of you asked and wanted to know, I decided that I might as well spill the tea.
Spill that tea.
For all of you equally chismoso people like
it's like
myself.
because chisme is gossip. So like probably gossipy people.
So chismoso. What is that? Is that Spanish? What is that?
Well,
cool.
chisme is gossip, so in Spanish.
Chismoso. For those of you that are new, click the link to read my initial post. Anyways, before I dive into my husband confronting her, I should provide some background on my overall experience with my relationship with my sister-in-law. In the beginning of my initial post, I talked about how she had the tendency to be controlling and set very unrealistic expectations that can influence the way she treats other people. Let me make one thing clear. She and I were very close at one point, or so I thought, and I treated her like my own older sister, that she has even seen me at some of my worst moments since I've been with her brother, but even then, I knew about her toxic behaviors, but part of me always prayed she'd grow and do better with time. Almost 7 years later, and she clearly proves me wrong every time. I've noticed how she does pride herself as being the favorite child between her, my husband, and their brother. I didn't grow up with my half-siblings and grew up very much an only child, so I never really understood the dynamics between siblings and the competitiveness between them for parental approval and praise. To be honest, my husband and his brother don't really take any of it to heart or see anything as competition, but their sister does. Any given opportunity, she finds a way to make remarks about how she's the favorite and which among them is the least favored among the three of them. She's like, and mom and dad like me the best, and
they
today
hate Teddy.
I heard they hate you the most,
Mhm.
OP's husband.
Yeah, I named him Teddy.
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 Old Theodore. Oh, they gave you an old wrinkly name because they hate
Fucking
you.
hate you.
Blah, blah,
They
blah,
love
blah.
me.
So I initially saw this behavior as joking and typical sibling banter, but as time went on, it would irritate me. It especially doesn't help when I notice that my in-laws don't even realize they play favorites or enable her BS. For example, if my sister-in-law makes an out-of-pocket remark or comment at family gatherings, you know, comments that earn you a smack if you had the nerve to say it to the wrong person, and they never say anything to her. But heaven forbid my husband or his brother make a joke about something, then they'll get worked up. It's clear because they're not treated equally, she really does think she can act however she wants. Not going to get into details, but she has done things in the past that only prove that as long as things are going in her favor in regards to her parents' approval, they are very religious people, for context, she has no problem outing or screwing over her brothers.
You almost skipped that over.
Almost skipped that over. Really gotta hammer that over.
Really?
My husband has kept a lot of her dirty secrets, and in a moment of vulnerability where he trusted her, she turns around, tells my in-laws everything so she can look like the older sibling who cares enough to tell their parents what's going on with him, even though she's done worse. That would piss off my in-laws.
That's terrible.
So at that point,
You're selling out your sibling.
I'm selling her out so fast. What, you
Yeah.
think that you can sell me out? Hypothetical sister I've never had?
You think you can sell me out and not face consequences? You got another thing coming.
Like, did you and Sam
Pop
have
out.
each other's backs, right?
Yeah.
Like, to this day,
Yeah.
there are things that will never be spoken of.
Of course.
I'm sure.
Well, Sam tells everything to my parents.
Okay, so no, not. You're like, yeah, no, definitely. Except Sam lets it all out of the bag.
Yeah.
Or are you just
Are you just
saying this?
What do you mean?
I see what you're
I
doing.
don't tell
I
my
see what you're-
parents, but Sam will
like-
tell my parents everything, so I don't actually have to keep any secrets.
You're
from them.
talking directly to the camera. You're telling your parents, yeah, Sam's told you everything.
He's told you.
Sam's told you everything. There's
Everything.
nothing else to be known
Yeah, I wouldn't. Why would I lie about that?
because he said everything.
So,
No
it's
reason-
sounding sketchier, but it's true.
You might be asking, why wouldn't I say anything to them as payback? My husband and I are the type of people who also don't think stooping to her level would achieve anything. Essentially, they're not my secrets to tell because that's between her and God and whether or not she will ever come clean to their folks.
Dang.
Um,
He's taking the high road.
the road's too high though. I can't. Oh no,
reach it.
it's got to come down a little bit. It's too.
Put some sunglasses on so you can
high.
see that.
I can't grab that one.
Road.
Overall, that alone really changed my husband's view of his sister because it showed how selfish she is. And of course, he felt betrayed, even though this specific occurrence happened almost 6 years ago. He forgave, but never forgot. Since then, and just over the time that I've been with my husband, everything she says and does just doesn't go unnoticed. I know some of you guys may ask why let it drag, and well, if she is ever confronted for something she did wrong, she always finds ways to make herself the victim and gets the whole family involved. So you'd be talking to a wall of nonsense and excuses. We just learned to just set boundaries, especially when it comes to family functions at this point. I guess my sister-in-law sees through her BS, but doesn't exhaust himself to confront her because my mother-in-law is overprotective of her, even when she knows her daughter can act very inappropriately.
Just letting her get away with everything.
I want the context for this inappropriate behavior too.
Yeah, what
because I
is
know
it?
it's like they're like really religious, and it's just like the
Yeah, they're
joke
like-
to me is it's like
Yeah, she goes
she's
to the-
drinking like 2 Dr. Peppers
clubbing
after
in Ibiza.
9:30. She was watching an R-rated movie. I'll always remember when there was like sometimes the Catholic Church will send out like mass blurbs about like movies that are coming out where it's like you can't watch this
that.
movie.
Yeah, this is against
And
God.
I remember when I was a kid, one of my best friends couldn't watch The Golden Compass because
Oh yeah, because it's anti-church.
yeah, well, no, and it's anti-church, and like the spirits, like animals could like talk because they had like souls and stuff.
Yeah, it's like
and so they were like, you
super-
can't watch that, and it was like
Yeah.
that the Catholic Church is telling you can't watch the movie
That's
about the
funny.
bad Catholic Church.
Yeah,
it's so
like
funny.
The whole thing is about how bad the Catholic,
Yeah.
the church is. In
So it's like I found out she was watching The Golden Compass. From what I see, mother-in-law gets like that because sister-in-law has ran away and temporarily cut ties with them when things didn't go her way. And I get it. She wouldn't want to have a strained relationship with her daughter, but still. So
set boundaries. You don't have
Yeah.
to like be like, I'm gonna cast you out of my house. You can just be like, hey girl, let's put some brakes on.
yeah, let's just build a little
Let's lead with kindness.
build a little
and love.
boundary wall here that we can respect. Yeah. There you go. So, imagine how angry my husband is because he's already been holding it in with his frustrations with his sister and knowing how passive his parents have become when it comes to her. Well, when he confronted her via FaceTime, he obviously came to my defense and told her that she's being unreasonable and unfair. And, well, cussed her out because she kept making all kinds of excuses and he basically handed her booty back to her. He didn't just leave it at regarding the wedding. He called her out on everything and something she also said about me to other family that we were not made aware of until a few hours before he called her. Turns out she was going around talking about the whole dress and tattoo situation and me dropping from the bridal party to some family members, one of which recorded what she was saying and sent it to my husband.
Oh my God.
Ooh, there's a lot
They're
of
on your
like
side.
informants and
Yeah.
like spies. This is like an intriguing story.
This is the golden compass.
Yeah, it really is.
Someone's got like a monkey who's like trying to
Yeah, that's the
figure out
bad
everything.
one.
Like in
right?
the the
Monkey, the bad
one.
monkey's bad.
Yeah. He's gonna find out all your secrets and
Yeah.
report back
That's so cool. I wish we could
to
all have little
the mom.
demons that were
Me
like
too.
emblematic of
Demons.
our souls and personalities.
Yeah.
I wonder what mine would be. Would be like a little weasel,
It would be a weasel.
like a little ferret.
I don't know why I was gonna say ferret, but mine was
Yes.
I was gonna say ferret.
just a
Pretty
noodle.
well. Yeah.
Noodle
something
creature.
noodly.
There's something
Yeah,
noodly about you.
Something noodly about you. I can't put my finger on it.
So someone had recorded what she was saying, and then she went off on a tangent talking about how his brother can do so much better than me, and how she feels so sorry for her baby brother because I'm so lazy and won't help him financially. Basically referring to how my husband is supporting us while I'm in school full time. Keep in mind, I'm in medical school.
She's about to support them big time
Oh
when
my
she gets
God.
through it.
Can you imagine being like, yeah, and
You're so lazy.
it sucks. He deserves someone better than a doctor. He deserves I can't believe it.
He deserves someone who's already a doctor. You can't go through the process of becoming a doctor.
I just feel like
That's
she's
lazy.
Yeah, she's talking about shouldn't she already be a doctor?
It's ridiculous.
It's
It
like
took
if
her
you were
8
gonna be a
years to be a
doctor-
doctor. Took me one.
It took me 1 year to give up. That's all you have to do.
Through Purdue, I became a doctor in 1 year.
Yeah, do you need one of those? You need
Yeah.
another. Now you need a
Yeah,
Purdue
I went
sweater.
to Oxford. Wait, I have my Harvard Medical School.
Yeah, go get the Harvard quick.
Gotta go.
Wardrobe change. So I'm going to medical school and working part-time. Working part-time is not even an option for most med students. My husband went off on her about that and why our marriage and decisions in it bother her. Why does she need to bring that up? My husband's traditional and believes that he, as a man, should provide regardless of whether or not I choose to work. He decided he wanted to support us so I can follow my dream to pursue medicine. And that bothers her enough to downplay me as a lazy freeloader when my career will eventually provide with more stability for us down the line. Regardless of how anyone looks at this, I don't know what her issues are, but targeting me just doesn't make any sense. After 30 minutes of yelling and hearing her fake cry, her I'm sorry buts, my husband told her since her wedding day is a family event, he'll still participate, but out of obligation, and I will be a guest, but to consider that to be the last time he will ever be involved in something that involves her. Whoa.
Ooh.
We're only planning to stay for the wedding mass and we'll leave right after dinner. Free food. I don't care. That's all. I know at this point why still attend, but my husband is also good friends with her fiance and is a groomsman, and it wouldn't feel right to drop on him just because my sister-in-law is crazy. However, my husband gave her an ultimatum that if he finds out she pulls similar crap again between now and the wedding, then we won't go all together. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes
All of
with
you.
stories just like these, and they're all together on platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. All you got to do is search OK Storytime, and there they are.
Search it up. Do it.
So we do have a little bit of a finishing, a little close off here, a little
close
bit.
Gem's a good guess there because it seems like she has been kind of this like favorite daughter, golden child for a while, and now this new daughter-in-law is kind of
I don't know.
potentially
I
coming
think
in.
the vibe might not be golden child. I think it's more like, you know, because OP talks about how the sister had like problems growing up and how they both, you know, she like that OP left the Catholic like faith and like came back and like is, now more devoted than ever. And that like the sister-in-law will like talk down on her because it's like, oh yeah, she's got tattoos and she did this.
Yeah.
But it's like she knows the sister-in-law did worse stuff than that.
Yeah, so it's jealousy, but not necessarily.
I think the parents have also learned that like, because randomly she said it's like she ran away at one point and like wouldn't come back. So I think the parents have learned to just like, well, we just have to not press her. We need to placate her at all times or she'll run away.
Yeah.
So it's more like the bad apple, like sort of manipulating the system here.
But I think there's still elements of gold-childness if you let your child just kind of get away with bad behavior because you don't want them.
I guess, she's getting the golden child treatment.
Yes.
But she ain't golden.
Yeah, no, sir.
No, she's
sir.
not.
They really,
she
very
may glitter,
are.
but that ain't gold. No,
That's fool's gold. That is.
That's a big clump of pyrite right there. Nation moving forward.
Yes.
And speaking of moving forward, let's move forward to the end of the story.
Woo.
Going forward, would you look at that? After said wedding, or if she decides to open her mouth again, my husband decided we won't contact them or see them again, which makes it easy since they will be moving to a different state. I am counting down the days. LOL. If there's something I want to make clear here at the end of my post, it's that I don't wish her anything bad, nor do I hate her. I do forgive her. However, for my mental and emotional health, I just won't maintain a relationship with her of any kind going forward. I do genuinely pray she finds growth and learns from all of this and makes better choices if she has kids one day. I also hope she questions if this toxicity was worth losing a relationship with her brother. And that is the end of that story.
Husband realized we are not important to his family, so we're planning to quietly leave them behind. The old Irish goodbye to your family.
Irish goodbye your
Forever.
entire family.
A little background to understand this. Me, 42 female, and my hubby, 41 male, have been together for 22 years. During this time, we have been happy and very supported by my parents. One example that clearly shows this is that when he was still in college and we were not married yet, my mom helped him with tuition because his parents were struggling and couldn't pay. So he had to drop some classes and started a part-time job to be able to finish college. By the way, this comes from Owl Lee's 2079 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So when sister-in-law was turning 15, my mom helped with the celebration they threw for her, even though they didn't have the money because they didn't want her to feel bad. After a time, they struggled more and left them, my hubby, one elder brother, and younger sister, to move to another city. My sister-in-law was only 16 years old and was in 11th grade. My brother-in-law and hubby were in charge, and of course, I'll invite her to my house every time I could so she wasn't all alone, just with two brothers. I took her to amusement parks, got her to the movies, and anywhere I could so she wouldn't feel left out. Then he popped the question, and mother-in-law was so angry and asked why we were getting married so soon. We have been dating for 4.5 years till that moment. We announced our compromise in November and got married in March. I never asked about a penny because I knew they were struggling, but mother-in-law commanded me to invite her closest friends because their family wouldn't be able to go in on short notice. The wedding was originally planned for 100 people, but since the wedding was going to be close to my family and many would want to attend, I pushed the number to 150. After RSVPs from in-laws' family, we had to push it to 200. Not only 100 in-laws were at the party, but also mother-in-law's closest friends. My hubby couldn't invite all of his friends due to this, and I had to get a guilt trip because I didn't invite in-laws' family to the civil ceremony. The only in-laws that I invited took photos and videos at court, and I never received them. I don't have a physical memory about that, except for the official document. Also, I didn't have a wedding planner, and I was so busy with all the planning that I didn't save a time to spend with the in-laws' family that traveled so far to be with us. And that was something that mother-in-law always reminded me, like she was trying to guilt me. But hubby always reminded her that she never helped, and she was so busy with other stuff that I couldn't. Fast forward to when we were expecting our firstborn and in-laws decided to come back to the city, only to know that we were leaving for another city for better job opportunities for my hubby. And mother-in-law told me that I was doing this on purpose. Sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's simply not about you and they just want to move.
Yeah, sometimes people are just living their lives.
And it's different because it's not your life, and that's all. During the time being, we invited mother-in-law to go visit, but she will only go if the trip included a ticket to visit her mom. So she would stay 1 week with us, 3 weeks with her mom, 1 week with the in-laws, and 3 more days with us on her return. And you have to pay for all that?
Seems reasonable. Seems entirely reasonable, right?
Of course, all paid by hubby. I was okay because I knew that it was difficult for her to travel. When I was expecting my second child, it was difficult to keep the spending, so hubby wouldn't patronize these trips anymore, and she wouldn't go and visit us anymore. Oh no. What are you going to do without her in your life?
Oh no. What am I going to do without this expense on my budget? Oh no.
One day, hubby needed surgery, and I needed some help taking care of the kids while I spent time with him at the hospital. She couldn't come. It was her B-day. My mom dropped everything and went to help us. My mom always has been there for us, never missing a birthday or a special occasion for the kids. Mother-in-law couldn't be there for her son. Fast forward 2 years from now, brother-in-law was getting married, and despite all the help he received from mother-in-law for his wedding, we got a guilt trip because we were struggling to go travel. Now we're a family of 5, and it's not a 1-hour trip that we had to take, it's a 12-hour trip. At the end, we were able to go thanks to my mom's help. The day of the ceremony, they told us that they were expecting that our youngest will be part of the bridal party. The day of the ceremony?
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, your 5-year-old's gonna be up there, so I don't just tell her,
just like,
let her know."
Oh yeah, no. Did you email my 5-year-old about that?
Yeah,
Oh.
my 5-year-old talked to your 5-year-old, and they kind
Yeah.
of worked something out. So she's gonna be up there. She's actually officiating the wedding.
I could have swore my 5-year-old was out of office all week last week though, and actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, every week of her entire life because she's 5.
She's 5 years old.
So
She was, okay, so they never told me that. She was well dressed, but not that kind of dress to be in all of the photographs next to the couple. Fast forward to today, during this winter break, we traveled to our hometown to visit both families for Christmas and New Year celebrations. Father-in-law will turn 70 years soon, and they were talking about celebrating. He is not a people person, and he doesn't like big parties. However, that is not something mother-in-law cares about. They were told that back at their old hometown, one cousin of my hubby will be getting married, and all of father-in-law's brothers and sisters will be attending, so that will be the perfect time to celebrate him the next day of the wedding. Mother-in-law asked hubby if we will be willing to attend since the town is closer to where we live, and he said if my dad wants that, yes. We are not invited to the wedding yet, and he didn't know the date. Next morning, we went to brunch all together, and mother-in-law told me in front of my oldest the date. So my oldest said, "Hey, it's my birthday," and we were planning to have it here with my grandparents and uncles and aunts. He's turning 15, and he has never had all of his family in his birthday due to distance. The only one that has ever been with him is my mom, and sometimes my dad when work allows him to travel. Then mother-in-law joked and said if he was going to have a real quinceañera, and I told her that for him, it was a quinceañera with the people he wanted. I dropped the topic because she said father-in-law didn't want to have a party anyway. What just happened there? Did you get that?
I am also.
I'm a little confused.
I got to keep it 100 with everybody here.
I'm a little
confused. I think we're all confused. I think
keep
maybe
reading.
the structure of this story is missing.
We're missing
proper
a little bit.
punctuation, and
I think so.
It's hard to know who the hell's being talked about at any given moment.
We're to keep going, and maybe it'll sort itself out. But
Yes.
here is where I may be the a-hole. Yesterday, we were having dinner at in-laws, and they told us that they were searching for flights to the wedding. Then I reminded them that their only grandson's wish was to have all of his parents at his birthday celebration, and mother-in-law said it's not a real celebration anyway.
What?
Okay.
What is wrong with her?
Okay. So he was like, "Oh, I don't want to have like a huge quinceañera thing." And she was like, "Well, then it's not a real celebration, and I'm not coming, and I don't care." And so that's crazy.
Seems maybe a little unnecessary.
Yeah. You didn't have to. You could just say, "Oh, I can't make it."
It's like, this 15-year-old birthday party needs to go crazy, or I'm not
It's
going.
not real.
Is it 14 or 15?
15.
Yes.
Yeah. I was so angry I saw red. I looked at my son's face and he was numb. I looked at my daughters and they were shocked. Then observed hubby's and I looked at his face with sadness, but he has never been able to confront them, so he just shook his head. Then sister-in-law said that the price of the flight was not bad at all, and father-in-law said that they will find better prices later. I snapped and told him in a really bad way that if they are trying to find flights for spring break with a cheap price, they're so wrong that we know about this because we always travel here to visit them, and that's why we travel by car instead of plane, because it's a longer trip but cheaper to travel on seasons highly demanded such as spring break and winter break, and that those are times that we take time and money to come and visit them even though they don't care. That was poorly written,
Dude.
but from what I understand, OP is saying,
You crushed that.
oh boy, that it really went downhill at a certain
Clearly,
point.
English not first language.
Hold on,
There's
everyone.
a lot. I think the gist of that was basically like they were talking about getting cheap flights, which is crazy because they're like, we literally drive out
Yeah.
to save money, and now you guys like need. It just sounds like they're like they need things to be their way. It's their
Yes.
way. It's very
It
their
seems
way
like
or the
they're
highway.
not willing to put in any effort to go see OP and her family,
Yeah.
whereas OP and their family is always putting in a lot of effort to go and visit them.
Right.
That's what we just learned.
Yes. Correct.
After that, I waited a few more minutes and asked Hubby to leave. We were going to visit on Sunday. We were nearby their house. I even asked Hubby if he wanted to go, and he said no. Later, he told me that he didn't like the way I talked to them, but he understood where I was coming from, and now he won't ask me or my kids to go visit them because he realized we are not as important to them as they are to us. Because I'm the one that's always forcing the kids to go and visit in-laws because I know how important this was to Hubby, I even asked my mom to take the kids to visit my in-laws when they're spending summer vacations with her and I'm at work. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. We are going to their house because we already committed to, but I'm planning on going just to have a good time with Hubby and kids and leave as early as we can. Whenever I went to the in-laws' house, I tried to be helpful and serve them. That won't be my part today, but they don't care about my son's wishes. And again, maybe if they tried to make it work, if they talked to us, I would have accommodated them. Now I know that it's not my place because they don't consider Hubby, me, or my kids as a part of their plans, and I will not change our ideas or my son's wishes just because of them. But I wish for you guys to listen to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more. Honeybee says I missed a chunk of that. Do you mean like I didn't read something, or do you mean like it just didn't compute? Because if you mean it didn't compute, you'd be right. But I think I'm understanding a little bit more. It just seems like there is a effort that is not matching.
Yeah. Where they just,
On the
they
other
aren't-
family side, it's like
Yeah.
they had this wedding and they had this the 70th birthday for the father-in-law that they are asking OP and her family to, take out a lot of time and do a lot of work to make sure that they can come. But then when the son says, "Oh, I'm having a birthday," they're like, "No, we're not gonna come."
Like, yeah, it's not even real.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
So there's just not a lot of like equal effort being put in, I think, on both sides.
They're putting
here.
in the hard work, and then
Yeah.
they're like, well, we shouldn't really have to work hard
Yeah.
for this. Why? What is this working hard to
Mhm.
maintain things? What are we doing?
And also it seems like the OP's husband is like, "Oh, well, I didn't like that you stood up for us." It's like, you need to stand up for yourself as well and
I
your
think
family.
there's also probably some like traditional
Probably, yeah. It's like respecting your
values.
your parents and your,
Because I'm not. I may be wrong, but I think that it's like, I mean, the quinceañera is supposed to be like a big deal.
It is, yeah.
It's supposed to be like everybody you've ever known in like your whole life,
Mhm.
basically. Sort of like, I mean, it's like very similar to like the bar bat mitzvah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess to be like, no, we're gonna do a low key thing. It's like if someone is like
Yeah.
really about like traditions, they'd be like, well, what do you mean you're doing a low key? You're just having a get together. That's not a quinceañera. Like,
Mhm.
what are you talking about? So I can get that, but also it's like, if all the kid wants, he's like, I just want my grandparents there. I just want some
Yeah.
friends there. That's what you got. You got to respect that, right?
Mm-hmm. You would think. But there is a little bit more to the story. And the cherry on top? They don't know this yet, but there is a plan going on right now that we might be moving to a different country, and this will be the last memory that we'll be creating with them before moving away. And for sure, it'll be more difficult to come and visit every year as we used to. Hubby told me not to tell them, so it'll be too late for them to know, and their plans will haunt them. In his words, they don't care about me or my family. Too bad I have my real family. his in-laws, my parents. Today, sister-in-law wrote me asking why didn't they go to their parents on Sunday and if I was going to help her mom cook, and I answered that I wasn't feeling good and I'm not going to go today. Well, hubby is buying tickets for the movies that will go with my parents and the kids. So am I the a-hole? No. Yeah, your husband's...
Oh, really? No?
I don't think so.
No, yeah,
Oh.
of course not. No, I was just,
Like,
I agree.
what?
I'm in complete agreement.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to mix it up there for a second.
Keep
you on your toes.
You are the a-hole.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're trying to take care of your kids? I don't buy it.
Yeah.
No, you're not the a-hole. Don't spend time on people who don't care about you.
Even if they're your elders.
My ungrateful sister-in-law demanded I pay for her honeymoon, so I laughed in her face.
Yeah, that's exactly what sisters are for. right?
Yeah, and
Pay
they
for
just pay for
honeymoons?
everything, right?
Yeah.
My husband's youngest brother, Jim, recently married in June to his girlfriend of 6 years, Kathy. They had a long engagement of 2 years as there was a 6-year gap, and my in-laws were worried about Kathy's lack of maturity. By the way, this comes from Rah Wit on the OK Storytime subreddit. So I've been with my husband, Tim, for 14 years. We have 2 kids, 13-year-old boy and 9-year-old girl. Both kids love Kathy and Jim. Once they became engaged, I offered to help with whatever for the wedding out of kindness. I was thinking more of a formality with helping with DIY projects, etc. As Kathy and Jim would have a low budget for the wedding, I figured maybe my husband and I could give them something really nice for their house. She and my mother-in-law called me in May asking for my son, daughter, and husband to be in the wedding party. No big deal. Except they had to wear a specific color. I was irritated as getting this color from David's Bridal was going to be expensive. Thankfully, I found a Flower Girls dress from Amazon that was almost the same color. The ties were exclusive from DB, so we paid $30 extra to get them in 5 weeks. On the call, she also mentioned for my husband and I to pay for the honeymoon. On the call, she also mentioned for my husband and I to pay for their honeymoon as we could easily afford it, and we wouldn't have to get them another gift. So naturally, I asked, where do you plan on going for your honeymoon? She said, Sandals Resort. Now, I've heard of these, seen the commercials, and knew in my gut this was going to be very expensive. So I asked, how much is the Sandals Resort? She said $5,600.
Not just a few thousand.
That ain't a couple of bucks. That ain't anything to sniff over.
Crazy. Yeah, you guys can afford. Like, that's just so wild to me to ask someone to spend that much money just because you think that they have it.
That's insane.
That's wild.
She went on about how much it would cement the union, how Jim needed a break from work, and again, we can afford it. I had an out-of-body experience. I laughed like a hyena, hysterical laughing while she remained silent on the phone. Realizing she was serious, I told her absolutely not. We would not be funding her entire honeymoon. Heck, my hubby and I never had a honeymoon like that. She proceeded to cry and say I was going to ruin her version for her wedding.
God.
Didn't care about her and hung up. I told my husband later for him to call his brother and tell him WTF. He just said Kathy was planning everything, so he didn't know what was going on. The day before the wedding was a nightmare as well. The kids ended up getting mites from being out in the random woods. She yelled at those that didn't contribute to her honeymoon fund, and her kid sister ate 26 of the 45 cupcakes for the reception. That's impressive.
That's so funny.
That's impressive. 26 cupcakes.
26.
How?
Dude, she was having the best day ever.
She was like, woo!
She's just, this is free? No one else wants these?
Yeah,
Boom,
she's
boom,
like,
boom,
they're
boom,
all
boom.
mine.
Oh my gosh, like Pac-Man just
Yeah.
eating it up. Dude.
And cherry on top, her photographer lost her wedding photos. Ha. Yikes.
Whoa.
That's not good. Not a good wedding.
Uh-uh.
There is an update though. I was able to create a post about this from some users. Recap, Jim and Kathy got married in June. Kathy and my mother-in-law, we'll call her Coral, called me to ask for my husband and I to pay for their honeymoon, which was $5,600. Why? Because we could afford it. I said no and was told I was ruining her vision of her day, and I hung up. The wedding came with some very bumpy parts, but they did get married. Yay! Kathy berated everyone who did not give money or buy from her registry during the
Oh
reception.
my gosh, this woman.
Yay. We left shortly after her, crying / berating everyone. I was so pissed I couldn't think straight. Not once did she say, "Thank you for traveling to see this," or "Thank you for accommodating to my crazy behavior." My husband mentioned in the car on the way to the airport that Coral pulled him aside and asked if he could help fix their honeymoon situation. Since they had no backup, they were just going to go home and pout. My husband Tim said, "Sure, I'll talk to OP and we can maybe have them come down for a visit. We live near the beach, we'll have nice weather and plenty to do." Coral proceeded to pull Kathy over and said, "Tim and OP have invited you and Jim for a week visit. How fun is that?"
Oh no.
Kathy then proceeded to give Tim a hug and said they would be in touch tomorrow to finalize plans. Tim said, "Well, I need to run things by OP. Yes, she's a teacher and has to go back to work soon. So we'll let you know if that works." Coral said, "Oh, I'm sure OP won't mind, Tim. Let me handle that." Oh, no. Oh, don't let her handle that. Don't let Coral handle this.
Why would she be the one to handle it?
This is
when
bad.
Tim is her husband.
Well, no, Coral is the mother-in-law.
Well, yeah, but like
Yeah.
Tim needs to talk to OP.
Yeah.
Why would the mother-in-law talk to OP about it?
And not the husband, yeah.
Like, yeah, the husband. I don't know. That's crazy.
Good Lord, was I mad when I heard that this was all planned even before I heard about it. That is crazy. So in the end, I thought this was a peace offering for Kathy and I to get along. Maybe I had been unfair to her. I don't know. Once we get back, we scheduled for them to arrive on June 25th. A week after they married. We found cheap tickets through Frontier. Yay, even better, it was a direct flight. We bought a new bed, as the other was a futon, new sheets. I bought items to put in a welcome package, toothbrush, snacks, etc. I bought them new towels and gave them the kids' bathroom, cleaned up and down the house. The day they arrived, the first thing I heard was, "Why Frontier? They're horrible, OP. I'll never fly with them again. Try to go with American Airlines next time."
Oh.
Try to shut your freaking mouth.
How about that?
We thought about that. I'm sorry, you're complaining about your free flight?
Yeah, what? Like next
Oh my
time you
God.
buy me a flight, make sure it's the right one.
I'm
Like,
sorry. I'm sorry. What?
This is not your like celebrity assistant.
Yeah, buy your own
okay?
flight if you want American Airlines.
Exactly.
I let that go, but I could see this trip was not going to change my opinion of her. She asked what was for dinner as she wanted to go out. Now, my daughter has celiac disease, so she cannot have gluten, and it makes it hard to go out. She stated then cook her food and bring it. I chose to make a barbecue bowl instead. Everyone else loved it besides Kathy. She didn't eat, only opened my expensive wine and poured a glass. When Tim mentioned, "That's OP's really nice wine, could you get a glass from another one?" she proceeded to pour the wine back in the bottle that she drank from.
that requires like you pay me back
Yeah,
for my
I'd be like-
expensive wine. You just poured your backwash
Yeah, into my wine.
into my expensive wine where there's so much left because that was like the first.
Probably the first thing first time someone opened it. Pow, pow, pow.
That's what I have to say.
That's what I gotta say. I also found her rummaging through our pantry eating snacks since she didn't have dinner. She ate around 5 protein bars my hubby uses for weightlifting. I was told by my kids she spilled Coca-Cola down our couch on accident and wiped it with our blanket. We have nice hardwood floors, so of course they were sticky. Left Coca-Cola bottles spread throughout the house, took all of the items I bought for the welcome package home, even though she didn't use them. We went to the beach. We live near the Carolina coast, so we traveled in my hubby's truck. The 2-hour drive was too much on her back. She's a bigger girl, probably around 260, and then asked for my son to switch with her. I said no. He needs to sit in the middle of the front because he was old enough and he could fit. How was she going to fit? By having both of us in the back seat with him on my lap? Ha! She pouted the entire time and ate candy/snacks while smacking her mouth noisily.
Oh, that's so annoying. I hate when people do that.
No. She then proceeded, once we got to the beach, to whine about no one applying sunscreen to her. I said I was putting it on my kids first, and she could ask her husband, as my kiddos were excited to start swimming in the ocean. She apparently never did because she developed a horrible sunburn. Now, all of us got a little sun. We were there for hours, but Kathy was obviously in pain by the time we got back to the truck. Once we got home, she took a shower, grabbed some Gatorade, and went upstairs. They were leaving the next day, so I mentioned to Jim Jim, wash anything you want. Just try to shake out the sand before putting it in the washer. Well, after tending to my family, I realized Kathy was doing laundry. I didn't think twice because maybe she was uncomfortable with Jim touching her clothes. By the way, I'm uncomfortable that you guys aren't listening to more episodes with stories like this. You just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime.
Just do it.
Just make us comfortable.
Make us so comfortable.
So comfortable. And there is a little bit left. But what do you do with a person like this?
I don't know because
Yeah.
like I would want to like tell her off, but I feel like it'd be the kind of thing where it's like, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
in the moment it's like smallish situations that just kind of build up. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
hard to just like
Yeah,
be like,
what are
hey,
you doing?
you're being rude, because then she's just gonna blame me for like ruining her honeymoon.
Again.
But the freaking sunscreen thing.
Yeah.
What?
Why did your husband not put any on?
And why?
Why didn't
like,
you ask?
Why are
didn't
you
use
not?
yeah.
You are a grown woman. Why are you not either putting it on yourself or asking someone to do it? for
Literally.
you? Like you can't just sit there and be like,
Put my
"Servants,
sunscreen on.
Like, why
Let's
has
go.
no one attended to my needs
No
and start
one's feeding
rubbing
me
lotion on my back?
grapes.
Like that's so crazy.
Someone should be fanning me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Entitled.
wild.
But there's a little bit more. The next day, as they were leaving, Jim came to me and said, there was a little accident in the bed.
Did she pee the bed? Did she pee her pants?
I said, no problem. I was going to clean them anyway. I thought it was her period, by the way. He was talking. I know how embarrassing that could be. And I would just throw away the sheets. No. There was poop on the duvet, sand all over the floor in the bathroom, and a dirty razor with hair left in the shower. I would be disgusted.
Yeah.
She just pooped on the bed and then was like,
Sorry.
peace out. I'm not going to pay for that.
It's just a little accident. Sorry, my dog had a little accident.
Still
My
be a little
dog's not
accident.
potty trained or
Yeah.
house trained.
Oh,
Your
I-
wife isn't house trained, sir.
Yeah.
That's
That's crazy.
like at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, is there something going on here?
Yeah. I'm like, is there a
There's some
medical
sort of
thing here?
mental thing.
Because, I mean, even if it was a medical, sometimes medical things happen.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
totally fair.
Right.
But, like, to not even offer to help clean
Yeah.
it, to not offer to pay for it.
Or yeah, exactly.
Just something is messed up. And it's also not even like just the duvet. It's the sand, the razor,
the hair.
just nothing. Yeah. So I started scrubbing everything, threw away the duvet, and when I was done, I went to start the laundry only to find out she didn't shake out any sand. She washed and dried clothes full of sand, broke both my washer and dryer, had to have them both replaced. She never did say thank you as well.
Whoa.
And that's the end of that story.
Oh my
Literally cut
gosh.
these people off.
Cut these people off.
I would be like, you were so disrespectful. You
Yes.
either pay or I like never want to see you guys
yes,
again.
I think this is something you have to talk to her in person about.
Yes.
Because over text, she's just going to ignore you
Mhm.
and never get back to you. Be like, hey, bring your checkbook. We're going to hang out. Like, we're going to hang out. Bring cash, bring a check, bring anything, bring your Venmo, give it to me so I can be the one, because she's going to deny and
Yeah.
deny and deny and deny.
Yeah.
And you have
And
to
have
be
your
like,
husband talk
dude.
to to whatever his name is, Jim.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I graciously let you stay in my home for your honeymoon after you asked me to spend $5,600 on your
Yeah.
honeymoon. So I gave you my home. And what do? You do a stupid thing and don't even get sand out of your clothes, and you break our washer and dryer. Those
you
are
break our washer dryer.
expensive.
Yeah, they are.
She's like ending up spending the $5,600 anyway.
Yeah, which
Like,
sucks.
Probably. Yeah, that's insane.
Oh man.
Talk to her in person. Go pow pow pow.
Pow pow pow.
Give me my money, and then
cut her off.
freaking get your money. Cut her off.
Never
Yeah.
talk to her again.
Yeah.
But that
Okay.
is the end of that story.
Would you look at that?
My mother-in-law stole something priceless. I'm getting her arrested.
Do it. Put her behind bars. Yeah.
Part 1. So context, we have read the first tiny snippet of this long saga months ago. OP has gone ahead and edited/made things clearer since we last read. This first part is relevant and it will be needed to get all the details together. So, my mother-in-law stole my collection of vintage skeleton keys to sell at a pawn shop and buy herself a new phone. My best friend recommended Reddit to begin with and has suggested this subreddit and even said that I should have posted here first. I'm dividing this into 2 halves to make it easier to read. By the way, this comes from my keys were stolen from r/entitled people. So, my mother-in-law is insanely entitled. Sounds like it. And my wife's enabling of her has made our marriage very hard at times. Mother-in-law has come to us for money a lot because she keeps spending herself into a hole since she's a hoarder and shopaholic, the winning combination. Her house is full of garbage, junk, and unopened stuff that she never uses. The house is rodent infested too.
Oh, that's how you know it's bad.
Yeah.
When you got Ratatouille living with you.
So she has one semi-clean room in the whole building, and it's the master bedroom. She mocked it up like a little apartment studio with a futon to sleep on and use as a couch, an entertainment center with a TV and streaming, and a makeshift kitchen consisting of the adjoining bathroom, a mini fridge, and a microwave. Mother-in-law is also overweight because she eats out a lot.
Well,
Shout
why
out
would
to
you want
Riley.
to eat in?
Right?
You'd be dining with the rats.
Exactly. Now, recently, mother-in-law came to us wanting me to specifically buy her a new smartphone as a unprompted gift. And she threw a massive fit when I refused. And I mean a child temper tantrum kind of fit. Now, why did she want a new phone so suddenly? You might be asking. Good,
I
Samuel.
don't know, so she can like Google Maps her way out of her trash hoard. Like,
That
get
does seem
lost.
like something you need. But here's the truth. Hers is 2 years old.
Oh, that's too old.
It's 2 years old.
That's basically trash at that point.
It
right?
is. It is 1 year too old.
Yeah, you gotta throw that in the trash heap.
Yeah.
We live in a world.
Put it with the
These
flat
cats won't
cats.
flatten themselves, okay? Toss it in. So as far as I know, the phones still work just fine. Even my wife has confirmed this. But mother-in-law was resolute that she deserved a new phone. And before leaving, mother-in-law yelled at us that we're supposed to be pampering her now that she's an old woman.
Yeah, know your worth, old lady. Don't she knows that she needs to be treated like the queen she is on top of her trash heap.
Now, I know we all make fun of my age, but Opie says she's 53.
Yeah, that's a young lady right there. Right, John?
I'm not even going to comment on the hypocrisy happening right now. My wife also didn't want to buy her mother the phone because she gave her money not long before to make sure all of her bills were paid. Now, I have quite a collection of vintage skeleton keys, and I mean good ones.
All right, remind me of what a skeleton key is.
My
right?
understanding, and we might get an even more updated understanding from Chat and Riley in a second, is that there's like all of these different, like for instance, the handicap bathrooms you need a skeleton key to get into. There's all of these types of rooms that have like master keys that can open all of these different types.
So is it a
various
master
types of room?
Because I also I'm thinking of the old. Yeah, I was thinking of like those old keys. So like skeleton keys are the keys where it has like a little thingy thing on it. You know?
That might also be it.
Yeah. But I think it's both. I believe it's like the old timey skeleton keys and
they're like a master key.
and it's like a lock picking thing.
We do get some more context here, actually. So, I mean good ones, like the ones to particular hotels, the large ornate sergeant's brass railroad keys, getting into railroad things, stations, reading hardware, etc., etc. So, like old vintage hotel keys that were master keys.
So we're talking old keys.
Old keys.
Yep.
My collection as a whole should easily be worth $2,000 to $3,000
That's a lot of keys.
for the keys. Some of these keys are super rare. I kept them in a locked display cabinet, but a few days ago, I came home to find my entire collection gone. The cabinet had been forced open. I checked the CCTV that I have that's recording the living room.
Oh, wow.
And I saw my mother-in-law force the cabinet open with a small crowbar. She then put all the keys in a couple of boxes she had brought with her and left with them. Wow. I called mother-in-law right away and demanded she return my collection. She nonchalantly told me that she just sold the entire collection at a pawn shop already. And she used the money to buy a new phone.
Oh.
Dang.
You know, I just need some key money.
I
There's
feel
keys.
like the one thing she did lock is Opie's heart down because
Whoa.
she's never getting access to that.
And
that
listen,
thing ever again.
There's no master key for that.
There's no master key for that.
Then said that it was my fault and she had to do it because I would not give her the money. My wife was seemingly on my side until I said I was going to call the police. She begged me to just drop it and even suggested that I just start a new collection.
So she can steal it again with another crowbar.
Also, it's like, that's like saying like, hey, someone stole my car and they're like, oh, I have an idea. Just buy a new car.
If you're homeless, just buy a house.
It's like,
well, it's a great idea. It's a great, I don't know why you're shooting down great ideas. You're just saying great things right now.
True.
Done. Truly,
crowbars are master keys. Buy a new car if it's stolen. These are all great ideas.
Just buy a new car.
So I refuse to let it go because a lot of those keys are not only expensive, they're irreplaceable. Priceless even. I spent 10 years building that collection, but my wife kept blowing up at me and telling me to just let it go. So I slept in the guest room that night and I sought online help the next day when my best friend told me to try Reddit.
Ooh, open up Pandora's box.
There it
You
is.
might not like what you find.
I had been a lurker before, but making an account wasn't hard. My mother-in-law has been trouble in the past, but this was the first time I knew of that she had actually stolen from us. I needed help, so I asked there. The resounding advice finally made me pull my head out of my bum to realize I was the only one keeping my marriage afloat. And it would likely never get any better if my wife was not on my side when her own mother steals something irreplaceable from me. Now, to answer some quick questions I got before. 1, how did mother-in-law get into the house? My wife unilaterally gave her a key, the irony, when we moved in. That's why. 2, why did I have CCTV cameras in the living room? Really? Wouldn't you do that if you had something valuable on display there? And 3, is mother-in-law on any substances? No idea. She's always been crazy. Question number 4, did mother-in-law steal from us before? Not that I have been able to tell, and I've checked everything that I could think of. 5, what kind of phone did mother-in-law get? Not a clue, but probably one of the cheaper smartphones with the amount of money she got selling my stuff. Seems like.
You have a CCTV collection, or you have a CCTV pointed at your collection? That's a lot,
right?
That is a lot.
Like,
but it's just like a camera, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Setting up.
Old school.
Well, I have video content of things that are priceless to me to make sure that they're safe.
You have a video camera pointed out at your priceless items. Yep. What? Oh.
Of course.
Is this what I'm thinking? Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Where is priceless items?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
I thought you had a camera in your room.
Oh, I do sometimes for my 3D printing.
Okay.
Just to check up on it. But
there you go.
But mostly it's you guys.
All right. Oh. Thank you. That's much better than what I thought you were saying. So, number 6, did my wife use my money to placate her mother before? Yes, she did. We primarily have separate accounts, but we do have a joint account that we pay the bills with, so it's not used for savings. In 2 years of marriage, I would say it's roughly happened 5 times. Every time my wife took money from the joint account for her mother, she's always replaced it on her next payday. Okay,
that's good.
That's good.
She's just taking it in advance.
Yeah. Though in hindsight, I think she only did so because she knew I'd never let it go, because she would always have an attitude with me for a few days afterwards. I was in a bad marriage fog before, but this whole situation has snapped me right out of it. Question 7, will I lock down my credit? Pun intended. I already have. Although I'm not sure my wife or her mother would be so stupid to do something like that after mother-in-law was recently arrested.
Why was she arrested?
So
skeleton keys?
My understanding as of right now is she was arrested recently for a completely unrelated incident, which is also maybe why the wife is so adamant about him not calling the police.
Animal.
She's already got a recent record.
Yeah, like 3 strikes rule.
Are they going to just throw her in jail for a while and just,
I mean, I can't imagine that someone just using a crowbar to break into things. Like, that spills into your life in other areas. This is not an isolated
You don't just
incident.
crowbar one thing and
stop.
You
Once
can't
you
eat one
realize the
chip.
power of the crowbar, that you can get $3,000 worth of keys with one little bloop, like you're not going to stop there. Your villain arc has just begun.
I'm getting some ideas over here.
You want to get a crowbar?
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
this is kind of crowbar-esque.
That's made of foam.
I could open something with it.
I have gotten my collection back.
Oh wow.
So it sounds like OP went out and got it back, and I've hidden it somewhere. My wife and mother-in-law have no idea where it is. I will provide more details in another post tomorrow.
Yeah, let us know where it's at.
Yeah,
we'll find it.
Yeah, we won't tell anybody.
Just you guys.
Ooh.
But you guys won't tell anyone.
Keep it between us.
Yeah. Our little secret.
Ooh. And we have some relevant comments. So this comes from TMG 2010. Report her to the police. It's the only way to deal with self-absorbed, narcissistic women like this. And I think that you should accept that your wife is always going to enable her and defend her behavior. You should change the locks in your home. Again, keys. And tell your wife in no uncertain term that her mother is not to have a new key. Gag on Mackie says,
excuse me.
That won't do any good. She has skeleton keys after all. Dude, it all comes back to the keys.
Fruit, but I love when we pick it.
Oh my God. Ken Popcorn says, what did you have to do to get your keys back? OP said, the police returned them to me at the station after a couple of days.
How did the police get it?
Did OP secretly already contact the police?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't understand how they would know about the key collection.
I guess the question is, did he say it was the mother-in-law or not? Because he could report it stolen, right? And be like, I don't know who did it.
Yeah, but the police are going to go into the mother-in-law's house and be like, these keys are in your house. Who took?
Yeah, you could ask the pawn shop owner, like, hey, who sold you these? These are stolen. Right? And then probably...
because the police confiscated them from the pawn shop.
Almost certainly because she had already sold them to the pawn shop. So it's like, it seems like as of right now, the police might already know either OP's told them or they found out through investigating.
Wait, so what happens to the pawn shop guy?
That's the question. Now, we do have an update coming up, but what do we, as of right now, Chad is saying 90% divorce. 90%. We know Chad.
Chad, I love you. I love you.
But what's the short list of like the steps we need to take as of this point, do you think?
Short steps. I mean, I think, Chad is a vindictive mistress.
Indeed.
Often. But I think in this one, they're kind of right. This is not an isolated incident. It has continued and continued and continued. And it's made your quality of life suffer on I don't know, it seems like a fairly regular basis.
Yeah.
So it sounds like your life is better without your wife and mother-in-law than with your wife and mother-in-law. And when that's true, like that means you should leave, right?
I think so. I feel like at least marriage counseling to maybe see if she like understands what she's doing. Because if we're going to be like,
you have the conversation. Sorry. But my intention was conversation. Conversation doesn't go well. Divorce.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And do we tell the police, press charges, all that on the mother-in-law? Do we throw her in jail and throw away the key and crowbar?
I think the issue here is, and what I think the chat will probably say, and what Reddit will probably say, is if you don't hold her accountable, she's just going to keep having this behavior. It's like the whole thing of like, the bully keeps beating you up and then you fight back once and the bully stops coming up to you and twisting your nipples. Like you're...
Are they bullying me or doing me a favor?
It depends which nipple you like twisted and how much.
Okay.
I think, John, they would probably be doing you a favor. We know what you like. But yeah, I think there needs to be some kind of repercussion. I don't know personally if I would do a report to the police unless I believe this would reoccur.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think I'm disagreeing with you. That if we're assuming OP has a conversation, goes through with the divorce, I think don't press charges to protect your own sanity and move on with your life.
unless you think she's going to strike again.
Okay. Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, we agree. But
Agreed.
we're now getting into not just the update, but the never before seen update
The
to the
unreleased
story,
cut.
the unreleased cut. So
The Snyder cut. Extended.
back to what happened the next day. The police did come and take my statement a bit over an hour after I called the non-emergency line. I had video footage and the documentation of my collection ready. Yeah, mother-in-law is cooked. Opie has all the evidence in the world. And then there was some
Chat,
text.
Is mother-in-law cooked?
His mother-in-law cooked, chat. Did she have W Riz on that
Dude,
key
you
box?
said that just so naturally. you said that Gen Alpha slang just like it was rolling out of your mouth.
And then there were some texts that I went out of my way to get from mother-in-law to bait her into a confession. I wanted as much evidence as possible so she couldn't lie to the police. When I texted her demanding she give my collection back, she actually lolled and told me not to take a chance, and even boasted that she thought I was a pathetic son-in-law and my key collection was tacky anyways. I told her to at least tell me what pawn shop she sold the keys to so I could buy them to get them back and how much they paid for them. The dimwit admitted it all right away with glee over text. I had everything I needed for the police before they even showed up. The cops took the whole matter more seriously than I thought. I was worried they'd call it a civil matter since the thief was my mother-in-law and she had a key to the house, but they arrested mother-in-law not before long. And the police went to the pawn shop before it closed to retrieve my collection. So that's how they got it. I got it all back from the police after a couple of days. And for the moment, I've put my collection in a safe, secure place that nobody can get to. The pawn shop pretty much gave the entire key collection to the police right away like it was a bag of hot potatoes. Though I scrutinized every important key brought back, as far as I can tell, it's all there. That was a huge sigh of relief, and I took time off work and barely slept for 2 days straight because of this ordeal. Also, the cabinets that mother-in-law broke into is pretty much a loss since she mangled the lock and the doors prying it open. Thankfully, it wasn't an antique and just something that I bought used for $50. So I'm just going to take it to the dump sooner or later. From her text before, I found out mother-in-law sold the whole collection to the pawn shop for a whopping total of $300. Wow.
Girl doesn't know keys.
She really doesn't.
Oh my God.
For a collection of hundreds of antique keys valued at least $2,000 to $3,000 as a total, the low number felt like an even further punch to the gut to me. Yeah, he's like, they even devalued my precious keys.
If you're going to steal my keys, at least get a good price.
Yeah, put some respect on them. Likely the pawnbroker knew how valuable the collection was as a whole. I mean, it's not like hitting a jackpot or something. But yeah, that's the pawn shop owner was like, oh, I'm about to 10x this money. Easy flip. Easy flip. I mean, it's not like hitting the jackpot or anything, but the money is still money, especially when a dumb little lady walks in with a box of goodies.
Money is still money. OP 2024. I
Facts.
love that phrase. Darn tootin'.
Anyone else hear Mr. Krabs laughing?
I do.
Money. Money, money, money. Anyways, the cost of repayment to the shop was supposed to be on mother-in-law. Okay, so now she owes that $300 because you pawn something, whatever happens,
Yeah.
you still owe the money. Oh, dude.
I wonder how often that happens with pawn shops where they.
I was
have
thinking
to-
about that.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like people fence this kind of stuff all the time.
My girlfriend used to work for a pawn shop, and they had like diamond tiaras worth like $40,000 pawned and stuff like that.
But like how often is it someone stealing something and then pawning it? Like I feel like that's the classic thing that I always see in the movies. You
I
know?
think the vast majority are owned by the person, but there's definitely people who come and
Oh yeah.
pawn and stuff
Yeah.
that they stole. But my wife paid them back out of our joint account instead. From what the shop owner said, mother-in-law told them the key collection belonged to her deceased husband. OP's dead, guys. Oh, rest in peace. Rest in peace to our young king.
Dude, what do you call it? Defamation. Civil court.
Yeah.
Sewer for everything.
True.
For all the flat cats in her house.
Yeah. Oh, God. $100 per flat cat. She
I've
was
totally forgotten that this person lives in a trash pit.
Same.
That was so far away
Same.
from my mind.
Yeah, we've had a lot of things happen
Oh,
since
wow.
then. She was sick of the whole collection just sitting in our storage, so they believed her. But just to be clear, she's not a widow. Oh, her husband divorced her. Oh, wait. She was saying that the mother-in-law's
was
husband.
saying, yeah.
Yes, there we go. But just to be clear, she's not a widow. Her husband, so what would be Opie's father-in-law, divorced her and left the state around 15 years ago. Mother-in-law lives off of Social Security and food stamps and apparently stolen key collections. She also holds garage sales every few months, and she often demanded our soda and beer cans so she could deposit them to get recycling money. Mother-in-law doesn't drive, but she does get around on an electric scooter that tows a bicycle trailer. She lives in a long paid-off house. Just the...
Wait. Does she sit in the bicycle trailer?
It's like
Yeah,
a little...
yeah.
Like, you know the ones that hold kids and stuff?
So she could put more stuff in it.
Yeah.
She can't leave without her hoard.
Yeah, it's like
She
a
just
little...
travels with her hoard.
A little scooter with the little... Like the thing they put your kids in.
So she can find
In the
more
back.
stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's her dump truck.
I mean,
Dump
she
her
has so
stuff.
much stuff. I feel like if she had a garage sale every day for the rest of her life, she would still have more stuff to get rid of.
That is true.
There's
But then-
treasure buried in there.
Then she has to get more stuff to fund the next.
That's true. That's
it's
true.
an ever-going
Never-ending
cycle.
cycle.
Ever-going cycle. She lives in a long paid-off house, and she would not be having money troubles if she wasn't overspending every single month. And she always counts on my wife to pick up the slack when she comes up short. My wife and I got into a huge fight when she got home because I had her mother arrested. Never a fun thing. But I told her I am done with her enabling of her toxic mother. I said I was changing the locks ASAP and banning her mother from the house. And I also said that either we got marriage counseling or I'd be inquiring about my options for separation from an attorney.
Ooh.
I thought my wife would beg me not to do that. But instead, she just called me horrible, packed a suitcase, and walked out on me to go stay in a motel.
Whoa.
I just sat on the couch and let her go. She repeatedly looked like she was waiting for me to ask her to stay, but I didn't. Lady,
Dang.
you've locked the door shut, and the keys, they're not there anymore.
Although
Not there.
I do
can't
feel
reopen
like he was kind of expecting her to want to stay as well.
True. They're both like, they're playing chicken. They both want the other to be like, oh, no, it's okay, da-da-da-da, but then they're just like, no.
Yeah.
I'm staying
Which,
home.
I mean, I guess neither of them want to be in the relationship, really. You're
There you
playing
go.
relationship chicken.
You can't wait for the other person to try to
Yeah.
bring it all
You're
back.
done. You're done.
In the morning, she texted saying that she'd bailed her mother out of jail and wanted me to transfer her the money to pay for it since I was the one who got her mother arrested. Guys, it is getting worse. When I said no, all I got was a sarcastic, wow, wow. And that was it. Not too long after that, I had a gut feeling and I checked the balance on the shared bank account. And my wife had taken out a lot of money from it. I wasn't sure if that was all she needed for the bail, so I called the pawn shop later. The owner confirmed that my wife had come in and paid him back the $300 that he'd paid her mother for the keys. He was also quite angry and said that he didn't want any of us in his shop ever again. I understood his anger and weirdly enough had a fairly long talk with this guy, and he understands now that I'm not part of the crazy. Guys, sometimes you lose a wife, a mother-in-law, and priceless possessions, but you gain a pawn shop friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how life goes sometimes.
Never forget that.
Never
Makes it
forget
all
that.
worthwhile. you know?
Also, you see how he didn't chicken out on the pawn shop guy? He's like, we actually had a long talk, and when I talked him through that I'm not crazy.
We came to a resolution. Is OP in the wrong for not going further? You tell me, chat. You tell me. Comment below. I tried to call and text my wife for hours, but she didn't answer. That evening, I managed to find her. I knew which motel she'd likely go to, and I was right. It was both cheap and not far away. Ouch. I found her car and then figured out which room she was in. She looked positively shocked to see me when I opened the door. I confronted her about the money she'd used from our shared account. She basically said that since I refused to pay her mother's bail after I was the one who had her arrested, she got the money from me one way or another.
Oh, wow.
then smugly stated that she wasn't paying that money back into the shared account this time and told me that that's the karma I get before shutting the door in my face.
Ooh, she does not want to be in that relationship.
That is...
I think she's cheating.
Oh.
Motel, cheap motel.
Door already open?
Yep.
No
Who's
locks,
coming in?
no keys.
Who is going out?
And it seems the apple has not fallen far from the tree. Opie's wife is acting more and more like her mother.
Hey, I'm starting to see some flat cats here.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe she goes back to that pawn shop and gets all the materials necessary.
Yeah.
Gets the toolkit. Then she said through the door that she'd call the cops on me if I didn't leave. The smug look she'd given me reminded me of nasty teenage girls when they get their way, and it really ticked me off. I already knew my marriage was pretty much over, but that night, it really sank in. I had a long sit down with some old video games and cola to think about my future. The house is rented, so I'm not renewing my half of the lease and will soon be apartment hunting. The last month of the lease is in March, but I may leave sooner depending on how soon I can find an apartment. We have no kids yet, thank God. Truly. So that's another thing I currently have in my favor. Now, the next day, I changed the locks on the house and I removed all of my money from the joint bank account and stopped all automated payments to and from it.
Time out. He can't do that. He can't change the locks on the house. Unless he gives copies to his wife.
Unless he owns the house outright and it was a premarital asset.
They're renting.
Oh. Unless she's not on the lease.
She is.
Then he can't do that.
We've come right back around. Good comment, Producer Riley. I made sure to take only the amount of money that I'd put into the account. So, there's still more than enough in it for me to break even and still leave the minimum required balance on the account. Either way, the cost of mother-in-law's bail and paying back the pawn shop was now entirely out of my wife's pocket now. So to be clear, not only did OP withdraw all of his half from the joint account, he also withdrew, I believe, the amount that he for bail and the pawn shop.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's notified yet, but it shouldn't be long. I've been to a couple divorce lawyers already, and I picked the second one since the first seemed like they were only there for a paycheck. I'll have the divorce papers served soon. I loved my wife, but it's clear that she didn't love me, so I can't stay with her anymore. She can have her thieving, hoardy mommy all to herself.
Thieving, hoardy mommy sounds like a great OF kind of thing.
Sorry, thieving hoarder mommy.
Yep.
I still like a hoardy mommy.
It works either way. We both have very comparable incomes, so I'll be pushing for a clean split divorce.
Nice.
The woman didn't deserve me, and I fell for the act. The veil it's fully pulled. We are seeing everything without rose-tinted glasses now. She didn't want a husband. She wanted an insurance plan.
Yo.
Dang. Dropping force. I'll be clear on this. I won't be changing my mind about divorce. My soon-to-be ex-wife can beg and love bomb me all she wants. And even if she bothers to, I've never been her number one, and I'm not going to settle for being number two in my own marriage. It is over.
Boom.
Done. We have an edit coming up, but how do we feel about that?
I mean, I feel we went into this update, saying like, hey, let's keep a level head. Let's see what she responds, or what her response is to asking for counseling. And she went even a little bit more ballistic. So I think it's a clear-cut divorce.
She's proven. Are we sure we're not thinking too small? Like we're not putting our heads in such a tiny space that we're not thinking of all of the possibilities.
Yeah. Are we surrounded
right
by
on
track?
top of our heads and we don't even know what's happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we've fully assessed every little nook and cranny. I think our heads are warm with the thoughts.
That's true.
I think we're chilling.
So let's get into the edit. Yes, I asked the landlord to allow me to change the locks. Okay, so
Okay, cool.
But is that? I feel like that's still not allowed.
It's still not. Yeah, it's like even the landlord said that may not be legal. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. We're not sure. Let us know in the chat and comments if you know. He was all for it when I told him what had happened. All I had to do was mail him a copy of the new key. It always comes back around to the keys. He doesn't want mother-in-law to ever have a key to that house again.
Okay, so I think it's for the mother-in-law that they changed the locks.
Well, it's for both, right?
Oh, so she still has access to the key. Mother-in-law does not.
We don't know if she has access to the key. But
I feel
think
like
he
it
has
might
to
be
give her
for.
one.
I think he said a bit earlier that he's changing it for the wife as well,
Oh wow.
and that he doesn't want her back.
Well, yeah, but if she's on the lease, is that like allowed?
I don't know. That is still unclear. We don't know. He doesn't want my mother-in-law ever to have a key to the house again. So on to some relevant comments. Irish Una says, I am so sorry. However justified, it still hurts, OP. Oh, and OP says, I've become numb to the pain now, but it was bad when it hit. Okay Lady 1952 says, let us know if there are any updates because she was probably going to be pretty pissed when she finds out that she is the one that ended up paying up for her mother's bail. Karma came back around and bit her in the butt. Good luck. OP says, I have another post update to make soon, so keep an eye out for that, which we are about to get into. The title is Update 3, Divorce.
Okay, so we're getting into divorce territory.
That's what we're getting into.
Okay.
One quick question before we get into it.
Yeah.
Is it also where we were asking about? Is it like legal to change the locks on the wife? Is it also legal for OP to take out that money from the shared account?
I mean, she took out the money.
That's true. That's true.
And she took out the money. Like he's just rectifying,
right?
The situation.
It's neutral at this point.
It's new. It's yeah, but still neutral, but still in OP's favor. Like I think it's not like
well, still in her favor because there's less money in the overall, but still legal. Okay, so there's not a double.
I mean, I don't know. Like I'm no lawyer. I'm just a man with a tiny hat. But
yeah, right.
I think.
But a big
OP's
brain and a
okay.
big heart.
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah, we try. Big.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, update 3, divorce. Just because I found the thought of it humorous, I will be referring to my wife as wifey a lot from now on. Also, I know I seem like I'm posting too fast, but remember, this originally started around 10 days ago. So all of this has happened just in the span of 10 days. And we have way more parts and episodes left to go. And I've not wasted time in getting this divorce started. I also apologize for the length of the post because I just could not keep it short. It didn't really take me long to find and hire a divorce lawyer, and she's mean. Yes, my lawyer is a woman. Congratulations. Wow. Congratulations. What a feminist icon.
Fighting the patriarchy one divorce lawyer at a time.
And she seems pretty good at her job. You know, for a woman, she's pretty great. God, OP. So,
red flag?
Yeah, right?
I see why your wife is taking the mother-in-law
The tables
side
turn
now.
here. She asked me a couple of times if I was really sure I wanted to do this, but once I explained my full story to her and showed some evidence, she agreed with me and said, when I said I wanted to start it ASAP. So she got the ball rolling. Oh, this divorce is going to cost me, but I don't care. I will rebuild my savings later as a free man. I didn't even want to rent the house I'm currently living in anyways. Wifey is the one who pushed me for that.
Yeah.
I've been happy staying in our old apartment we used to share until we could have actually afforded to just buy a house together. Can't argue with that logic, but that's obviously never happening. I'll be paying a lot less for an apartment once we separate. Now, before coming home, wifey spent some time at a cheap motel when she bailed her mother out of jail. And she even threatened to call the police on me when I went to see her there. I changed the locks with my landlord's permission while wifey was still away and sent her a text saying that I had done so. But I guess she'd not bothered to look since she never responded. So, upon her returning home, she started pounding on the door and screamed at me to let her in. I just watched her through the doorbell cam and let her keep it up for a while before she finally got her phone to call me. I was already walking home from having had dinner with my best friend when she called me, and I pointed out the text that she'd not even bothered to read. When I got home to let her in, she was puffy-cheeked, teary-eyed, and and red with a bit of cat butt face. Now, I had a new key ready for her. Getting back to it.
Yeah, sorry, we're going back to it.
So OP did plan to give her a key.
Okay.
It seems. And I told her that if she gave a copy to her mother again, I'd be notifying her landlord, and they were already very angry that she'd given her mother a key to begin with. Not sure what the landlord could have done, but it was enough to make wifey comply for the moment. Plus, I'm not going to be living here much longer anyways. My mother-in-law still believes she did absolutely nothing wrong, and she is playing victim to wifey every chance she gets. She's not allowed over anymore for obvious reasons, and I've been repeatedly called a monster by her and by wifey. I've never been more glad that my mother-in-law has no friends. Ouch. Because then she'd be telling them all her convoluted versions of the story to paint me as a villain. I just know it. Is she telling her flat cats, though?
And where are those flat
and making
cat
a cat butt
buttholes?
face while saying it? I'm very mad at OP.
I guess
Yeah.
like a cat butt face is like one step removed from a duck face. Duck face us, butt face us.
Someone said it in chat. It's a sour face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she was told how much my key collection is roughly worth and what kind of felony charges she could now be facing. We might be throwing mom in prison. Though my collection has returned fully intact, so she may get the charges lessened, I'd like to hope that she gets a decent punishment at least, but I'm not really counting on the system to throw the book at a manipulator like her. As I said in my previous post, Wifey also paid my mother's bail and what she owed to the pawn shop with the money out of our joint bank account, and then smugly told me that she wouldn't be putting the money back. Basically, that was a terrible power move and her only way to try and put all the cost on me. I've since removed everything I've had in the account and stopped any future payments so she can't spend any more of my money too. And I've changed my passwords on pretty much everything. Wifey flipped the heck out on me for it once she finally checked the account a couple of days ago, because that meant what she's paid for mother-in-law's bail and reimbursing the pawn shop was all in her own money only.
Thank God.
Which means, and I don't know if I fully understood this before, because they had it half and half, OP took out all the money to reimburse himself. Not just like,
he took his money and the money she stole from him.
Yeah. And now there was no more access to my funds to supplement her own with. I just ignored her tantrum and went into the home office to watch anime on my computer. And she banged.
And she banged?
On the door for a while demanding I talk to her. I stayed quiet and just put on my headphones. Oof. Wifey had repeatedly demanded that I drop all charges against her mother and even said that if I really loved her, I would not only stop all of this, I would cover the costs too.
Good thing I don't love you anymore.
Got him. When I kept refusing, she moved into the spare bedroom. She tried to kick me out of the master bedroom at first, but I made it clear I'm not giving up the master bedroom when she's the one at fault. Real quick, just like having to live with this woman now after all of this has gone down is torture.
I could not imagine. Could not imagine. That would suck so much. I would just want to be bundled up outside with all my friends around a nice open fire.
All your cats.
All my cats. Using those flat cats as fuel.
Oh, God. She tried to start taking my stuff out, but I blocked her while pointing my finger at her face and said, no, like I was talking to a dog. Jeez, Sophie. She ended up crying and saying I was demeaning her, but I didn't care.
I feel like we're getting into some territory where I'm like, is OP the hero that we thought we had at the beginning?
Yeah.
It was like the last series we read. Remember that?
Which one?
Oh, it was the guy was divorcing his wife because she cheated on him. And then it turns out he was the butthole because he was like,
yes,
he was like,
it was the one you
torturing
mean
her.
Dakota read.
Yeah.
He literally like she cheated, but by the end of the story, we were like, cheat on this man again.
Yeah,
like,
please.
Bro deserved it. But then for some more deception on her part, she admitted to me out of pure spite that until this mess had started, She had been planning on letting her mother come live with us full time because of the state of her hoarder house. She boasted that she was just going to move her in while I was at work. I told her we were supposed to be equal partners before this all happened, and I was sick of her unilateral decision making. And as long as I'm paying 50% of the lease, her mother would not be living here.
Ooh,
Could 50% of the mother live there?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Got a lot. Never mind.
What were we going to say? No, say it.
All right. She's overweight. She could lose a lot of weight. Thus, half of her could live there.
Never said she was overweight. Actually, maybe.
No,
maybe
no,
Opie
they
did.
did at the beginning.
They did say that.
Yeah, they did say that.
I retract my previous statement. And if she tried, I'd throw all of her mother's stuff out immediately. Wifey looked like she wanted to explode and stormed off to have a drink and a loud phone call with her mother in the kitchen. They deserve each other. I just started removing her stuff from the master bedroom and left it on the other room for her. I've put a new lock on the door to the master bedroom too. I had wifey served her divorce papers at her job, which she said really embarrassed her in front of all of her colleagues.
Oh, come on, man. Like,
You don't need to do that.
you don't need to do that.
Just hand it to her when she gets home.
Like the whole, like, I pointed at her like a dog.
Yeah.
And like serving divorce papers at work. Like,
Don't need it.
you're making me question whether you're really the good guy. You don't need to do that. You don't need to, when they go low, you go high. So we know that you're the good guy.
Or do we go
Damn.
so low?
Or we go so
low.
so dastardly and deep.
We go down, 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 down.
I don't know. I think not.
And she flipped out on me again once she got home. Apparently, she didn't take my threats of divorce seriously until the papers were actually in her hands. She said I couldn't do this, but I told her I was done. She made it more than clear where she stands. I told her I learned a rather interesting phrase online. When people show you who they really are, believe them. Believe them?
Yeah, we've heard that phrase. You know about that phrase.
And she's clearly shown me who she really is. And it's not the woman that I fell in love with. That woman disappeared and got replaced with an entitled mommy's girl who refuses to act her age right after we got married, which makes it pretty obvious that she did it intentionally. At this point, I don't think she ever loved me, just my wallet. Dang.
She took my money.
When I'm in need.
But I can't stay married to a woman who conned me into marrying her. Then she started screaming at me that she wasn't a gold digger. Relevant. So I asked her if she'd been inclined to stay married to me if I had done all the same things to her. She tried to deny it at first, then looked around like she was trying to find a better answer. Then she just gaslit to deflect as usual. But I had none of it. I told her right then and there that I am not renewing the lease on the house with her because I don't want to live with a petulant woman child I can't trust. And if she wants to keep the house, she can go ahead and start a new lease and move her mother in once I'm gone. Finally, that's when real waterwork started. She said, I was destroying our family. And so I said, what family? You're nothing to me. You're lower than a dog. You are less than a flattened cat. You are a not cat. That means you don't exist. Your particles are nothing.
You're Schrodinger's cat.
You're Schrodinger's cat. I don't see you. Who are you? John Cena. Now be gone with you.
Dang.
Damn.
That's tough. And I pointed out that we don't have kids and her mother is more important to her than me. We have no family. Then I just walked away. She loudly cried in the living room for hours, but I just ignored her. Now she's giving me the hardcore silent treatment, and we won't even look me in the eyes. I'm actually enjoying it,
Oh gosh.
which seems to make her even angrier. As an added bonus, I warned my current landlord about wifey wanting to move her mother in the house. I gave him all the details that I had about mother-in-law, the state of her hoarder house, and how much of a deceptive mommy's girl that wifey is. And I warned him if he let my mother-in-law live in any property he owns, she would turn it into an utter disaster. He thanked me for telling him and is now not going to let wifey renew the lease on her own if she tries. He'll be advertising the property soon. Wifey has no idea yet and likely would have only just barely been able to afford the house with her mother's help anyways. One more thing. Yesterday, someone warned me to take my name off the joint bank account entirely so I would not be on the hook for any overdraft. I took that to heart and went to the bank to get it done. It only took a few minutes to do, and the bank is 10 minutes away by car. All good now. I've been working from home lately, so I had time. All statements from the account were already printed and given to my lawyer too, so I can wash my hands of it. Edit. I don't know if it's the same rules everywhere, but the bank had no problem removing my name from the account as a cosigner when I pushed for it. There were no debts on the account, and I had plenty more than the minimum balance. The bank likely did tell wife whether or not she knows I did it. It does not matter as she's currently not even talking to me. Edit number 2, I've noticed a few comments pointing out how it was completely unnecessary. I pointed out that my lawyer is a woman. Looking back on it, I did write that like a complete jerk.
All right.
Hey. Or is he a self-aware king?
Remove red flag.
You know, what was the other one? Oh, him just treating her like a dog. Yeah.
Like a dog.
And you said anime. You were like, red flag, anime.
I was like, maybe.
Yeah. Wait,
maybe.
what? Anime's not a red flag.
I'm just saying if he's locking himself in his office and playing some we didn't get what specific
What if he
genre.
was locking himself in his office and playing, a nice documentary about buffaloes or truffle pigs?
Then we know exactly what it's about.
I also want to watch the documentary about truffle pigs, The Truffle Hunter.
Oh,
yeah.
No free sponsors.
I got recommended it.
Yeah,
and I really like the slice of life documentaries of like foreign countries and the countryside.
Is the story like rich?
It's rich.
Really?
It's stinky.
It's stinky.
It's
like
fun with guys.
A truffle.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Maybe
Wait,
watching...
what was this documentary about again? Oink oink.
Oink oink.
Well, looking back on it, I did write that like a complete jerk. I was rather excited in the moment about it. No, that's not an excuse. I acknowledge that. But how quickly this lawyer helped me just made me so happy. I'll make sure to not sound like such an idiot when speaking on her again. By the way, if you never want to look like an idiot, you can tap our profile every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, on Facebook, and join our lives. Could be live right now.
We probably are.
Probably are. But
tap our profile.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost at the end of part 1 of this saga. We have more episodes.
Saga.
It is thick.
It is juicy.
Let's break down before we get into this final part here. 1, has OP done everything right? Like, is there any big missteps?
I mean, besides calling his ex-wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, a dog.
Truly.
I think there have been some choice actions, like submitting the divorce papers at her work.
Yep.
That don't sit completely right with me.
Yes.
But overall, like, he tried to have the conversation. She was not down. He tried to put up boundaries. Mother-in-law did not respect it. I think he's like, 90% doing the right thing.
Big picture, he needs to get out of a marriage where his wife, doesn't really care what happens to him and get as far away from the evil mother-in-law as possible. We also have part 2 and episode 2 coming up. Do you think we go hard on suing the mother-in-law or taking her to court? Because it said earlier we might be able to press felony charges. Do we lock her up and throw away the key like she did to OP?
If she could strike again, then yes. Again, it's all like, do you think she'll strike again? If so, lock her up.
Well, now that they can't use OP as a piggy bank anymore, is mother-in-law going to say, okay, now you didn't give me the money. Now you're making me do this to you. Uses the crowbar, breaks it, and takes everything.
Yeah. Potentially.
Because now she's like, hey,
getting desperate.
You should have just given me all the money I needed, but instead you decided to divorce and pull all your money aside. Yeah. How dare you?
And maybe mother-in-law trains her daughter in her crowbar techniques, and now they're, Bonnie and Clyding across town, stealing everyone's skeleton keys.
Oh, wow.
Lock is safe.
We might have to throw them both in prison?
We might have to throw them both.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like the stocks, Like
Stocks.
I feel like, those medieval things where they're like in the thing and then everyone's throwing tomatoes at them and they're like, Like,
oh, yeah, the thing in your bedroom.
How do you know about that? How do you
You
know
left it
about?
out
How do you know
one day.
about that?
I like how you just told on yourself.
How do you know about my stocks?
You left it out one day. and I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. Well, I was
Makes
showing
sense.
Riley the other day about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we put him in. We put him in.
All right, but guys, we
Okay,
have some
yeah.
relevant comments
Oh,
to
what about the
close out this
stocks?
part.
Oh,
Huh?
I just like love the idea of throwing tomatoes at like the people that are wrongdoers. I feel like we should bring that back.
You like juicy things.
Like juicy things,
Really ripe
thrown at
things.
me, ripe little
Something you can
peaches
palm.
thrown in my face.
Yeah.
Riley's doxing Sam's bedroom stuff. To be clear, that
you
was
confirmed it.
That was a joke
yeah.
that John, I feel, believed.
That sounds like you trying to get out of it, but you know what? To help you out here, here's some relevant comments
been a
to close
dry
out this
month.
episode. So, Isolugus says, one additional action you might want to take to freeze your credit with the credit reporting agencies. Don't leave an opportunity for your credit to be damaged by others' actions. No, you want to says, yes, do this. Before my ex-wife declared bankruptcy, she reopened a shared account that I had closed even before the divorce and charged $5,000 to it. Once she declared bankruptcy, that all fell on me.
Oh, wow.
I got out from under it with a simple $350 lawyer visit, thanks partially to a clause in our specific divorce papers where it states that neither party can cause the other neither party can use the other for the purpose of obtaining credit or loans. But I found out about the $5,000 less than a month before I was taking the kids on a trip to Disney, our first vacation ever, which I was finally able to afford because I had paid off all of my debts. Her timing was impeccable. I'm still angry about it 15 years later, so lock down your credit. It is good advice.
Dang.
Update! Let me be clear on some details. I've been told many times that I'm condescending, twisting things, acting like a D-bag, etc. Well, apart from how hot-blooded I get from all this, I'll tell you about the crap I've dealt with before coming to Reddit. My wife used to act very different around me the 3 years that we were together before that we got married. She was kind, regularly scolded her mother if she did anything bad, and didn't expect me to help her mother with anything either.
I just saw Stella's chat. Sam would get a fart candle to blame his farts on the candle.
I mean, that's not outside of the realm of,
what I'm known
what could
for.
happen, For a second, I'm not even going to lie. For a second, I thought the comment was going to be like, where do I get Sam's
fart candle?
You just rip one? Sorry, I thought I heard something. Sorry. Too soon. I heard something like,
oh my God.
Nice try, Riley. Trying to cover up your own farts.
Nice try.
Nice
oh,
try.
come on.
But, and she didn't expect me to help her mother with anything either. She acted like she was perfect around me. Her mother was a lot kinder and more apologetic towards me before I married her daughter. She was, believe it or not, kind of a sweet lady. Apart from being a hoarder, I used to be very sympathetic towards her, and I hoped that she'd get better, but things only got worse after saying my vows. As soon as we were back from the honeymoon, my wife and mother-in-law were very different. Things became very their way or the highway, and I was treated like the bad guy by her and her mother for even having a different opinion on something. They regularly ganged up on me, when they wanted to make me wrong about things. Wifey became a total brat and was acting like a rebellious teenager at home. Our bedroom life became pretty much dead too. In part because I get migraines, but also because she was never in the mood. We hadn't been intimate in 4 months before I posted Am I the A-hole here? I have a bit of a low drive, so it didn't bother me too much, but she'd rarely initiated unless she had something to be happy about. Wifey remained her other self outside in front of people. She took off her mask at home once she had trapped me in our marriage. I've already explained the smug, bratty attitude that she had towards me when she used our shared bank account to pay her mother's bail and reimburse the pawn shop, and then acted like that money would be out of my half of the account. Or about her smug attitude when admitting that she was planning to have her mother come live with us without asking if I thought that was even okay. I can't take it anymore. She's made unilateral decisions on so much these past few years, even giving mother-in-law a spare key was all her. And that's what got my collection stolen. And before mother-in-law stole my collection, I just shut up and took the abuse from both, like the good little boy they wanted me to be. The little man in my little Navy uniform, my little sailor's uniform, good little mommy wifey boy. No more! Putting my big boy pants on. Now, why? Why was I putting on my little sailor's outfit and going to Mommy and Me award shows? Because I thought I was in love.
Aw.
Like a freaking fool.
Oh, buddy.
I was in deep of a marriage fog. But then people here pulled me out like OP should have. It feels like I'm married to a spoiled teenager that wants me to talk to the hand even if I want to have a frank conversation about anything unless we're in public. I get that this behavior has been deeply ingrained into her by her mother, but she refused to get any sort of counseling. If she had agreed to the counseling and believed the counselor would have agreed with her, I'd know she'd need help. But the way that she acts tells me she knows exactly what she's doing and doesn't care. I didn't even want the house we're living in, but wifey made it her hill to die on. I wanted to save so we could actually buy a house in a few years instead, but she wanted to keep up with the Joneses, and distance from her mother wasn't a factor. Our old apartment was actually closer to mother-in-law. Wifey just really wanted the house and particularly said it was happening whether I liked it or not. Sure, the extra space was nice, but I had to buy most of the new furniture. I'm miserable here. That's why I got so hot freaking blooded. Blood boiling in these hot tubes of veins.
Of lumps.
Oh, my lumps were bumping. And many here think I'm going scorched earth, but I'm not. I could have actually done far worse. All I want is out of this house and out of this marriage, and I'm regretful that I had to have my wife served at at her job. That went too far. But that's one of the few things that I regret in the situation, and please don't blame that on my lawyer. That decision was all me. I wanted some payback, and I made a bad call, but I can't undo it now that it's already been done. Wifey is still giving me the silent treatment, and we've been acting completely indifferent towards each other. I'd be completely fine if it stays this way until I can move out. By the way, if you want it to stay this way forever and literally have nothing ever change, if you want to live like Peter Pan, tap our profile. Any weekday at 3 p.m. PST, and you will be able to join us live. Do it right now.
And you'll never get to go home.
You'll literally never get to go home. You'll get to be a young boy forever.
Stay young forever.
Ooh,
be with our lost boys.
But, Sam.
John.
Do we think Opie's redeemed himself? He regrets serving her at the job. He said the way he talked about the lawyer being a woman was crazy, and he's not going to do that again. He pretty much seems to have addressed all of the grievances that we had with him.
Is he just trying to get into our good graces?
Is he just trying to, if we take that 10 steps further, is he just trying to have a army of people agreeing with him and the greatest show on earth at that on his side?
I think he is trying to change. I do think he is trying to change. But I think it's just, I don't know. I think I just have a little bit of suspicion.
Yeah, I think while he has addressed everything, I'm not 100% that he will be good for the future.
Yeah.
Still might be better.
But he's been good for now.
But we do have some other relevant comments. Proud Internet Troll says, OP, I've been following this from the first post, and I feel terrible for you. It sounds like your wife wanted to secure a wallet instead of a healthy marriage with you. People need to keep their parents out of their marriages. You will overcome this. You will be stronger as well. I had my ex-husband served at work. He kept dodging the process for 2 weeks, so I had no option.
Okay.
That's a different story.
That's a different story.
That was the first time he tried to serve her.
Yeah.
I also get migraines. Do you take anything for them? I have one today, so I understand all about them. Opie says, I have a regular mix of things that I take and prescribed and prescriptions for the migraines. Depends on how bad the migraine is. Low-dose aspirin and caffeine can help a bit. But sometimes I get hit hard with the bad migraine out of nowhere, and my eyes also are sensitive to the light because of it. And I'm sensitive to the story ending because of it.
I'm gonna cry.
I'm devastated.
I'm banning my sister-in-law from my future wedding because she disrespected me.
Oh, the in-laws and their joys.
So I want to make something clear from the start. I'm not even engaged yet, so nothing I'm saying right now is set in stone. So there's a very real chance something could change when we do. But right now, this is how I feel, and I have been told I'm being an a-hole. By the way, this comes from your girl Cal03, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. My partner, 22 male, and I, 22 female, have been talking about getting married. We've been together for almost 4 years, and he keeps teasing about how he's got this huge plan. We have been planning it kinda to the point where I know where I want to get my dress from, the color scheme, and generally what I want from the day. For the most part, it's going to be a very non-traditional wedding from what both of us have agreed. Not very big, some traditional things, but we'd rather spend more money on the honeymoon than the wedding. Anyways, my one big request with our list of family and friends coming is I don't want to invite anyone who doesn't support us or who has caused us any kind of trouble/trauma throughout a relationship. Yeah, ban all the drama, people. You want your wedding to be a freaking vibe.
Fair, dude. Why would you want anyone who's like a drama source in your life at a celebration of your relationship?
Unless you want your wedding to be remembered for that drama.
Yes.
Which is, sometimes something fun.
That would be a bold move to be like, I want my wedding to
Yeah.
be full of drama.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Dragon Princess and Neville Hogbottom. I love you.
My mother isn't invited due to being no contact, and there's a few others who are kind of in a hot list for maybe not being invited because they might cause drama. So, in comes sister-in-law. She's 26, and we'll call her Sarah. Sarah's always been rude to me from the very beginning. She made it clear she didn't like me for a long time. I thought I was being crazy style for thinking so because I grew up being told I was overdramatic. So I never really brought up that I felt that way to anyone because I thought it was just because she kind of has an aggressive personality. Ro's a nurse and waitlist professionally. Dang. But after dinner with my parents, family, and our second year together, we went back to his dad's house. I was talking about getting one of those low-income bag credit card loans because even now, the only way I'd be able to afford a car anytime soon is I don't have family members who can help out with it. Well, my partner's dad respectfully and nicely tried to tell me that was a bad idea. She full-on freaked out on me, yelling about how I can't do such a stupid thing and I'd ruin my partner's life more than I already have, and how dare I think about bringing him down into my debt with me. Again, we had only been dating 2 years and even now have no plans to join our bank accounts when we got married.
That's weird. That's like a weird reaction.
Sister's being
to
weird. That's a little weird.
That's quite a strange response.
My man had my back and got really mad at her and told her to stop being a jerk, which, yeah, that's a jerky thing to do. Later, Sarah texted both of us separately, her trying to make an excuse about her behavior to me, and to him saying she doesn't know me. That's why she's hesitant about me. Almost 4 years in, and she still hasn't made an attempt to get to know me. And while she did kind of stop being straight up about not liking me, it was only in front of him she acted nice. She'd wait till he left the table, sometimes grill me about my life decisions, and talk down to me and just continue to be mean for literally no reason.
Dude, that's a classic Dio move right there.
Ugh. Now, for context, my partner and I moved out together in late 2021. We had a sketchy situation with our first roommates and ended up finding our own place just for us. When that happened, I also lost my job as an assistant manager, and the job market in Alberta is a crap show to say the least. So while I've been working every job I can get, none of them have lasted for one reason or another. None, however, are because I'm a bad worker, and I can say that confidently because I was the only one who showed up, stayed late, came early for every job, no matter what state I was in. Mentally, physically, I always showed up and did my best. But to Sarah, she sees that as me being a deadbeat girlfriend, despite not knowing any of the story or seeing any of the bajillion resumes I sent out on the daily.
She just wants to be you.
She wants your
low
boyfriend,
key.
dude.
I
She
don't
wants your
know. That's
boyfriend.
weird.
I feel like she's trying to steal you.
It's kind of strange.
Anyways, now I understand that she's worried about her brother, but she didn't like me even before we moved out together. And lately she's gotten ballsier again about making it known she does not like me. Fast forward to Christmas, my partner and his mom went on a trip to visit her because she lives out of province. And he comes back to tell me she full on told him she doesn't like me, but didn't give him a reason as to why she doesn't like me.
Yeah, but the reason would be because she's full on Cersei Lannister, dude.
Oh, ew.
I mean,
Grody, McNody.
Where do these complexes come from where it's like you don't even know your brother's partner or your sibling's partner, and then it's like they're like the scum of the earth and they're the worst and they don't deserve them and they can't have them.
It's like, it could just also be like an attention thing. She thinks like she's gonna get less attention from her brother because the brother's in a relationship.
You guys aren't 12. You guys are like adults. course you're gonna get less attention from
Some
your brother.
adults still
he has
act
a
like they're
wife
12.
and a family. Like that's where he's
Some
going
adults
towards.
still act like they're 12. Then the other night we had a late Christmas dinner because she was in town, and at the table while I was having a conversation with him and his cousin about something, she apparently made a passive-aggressive comment. I didn't hear it because I was talking to his cousin when she said it, and my man flipped out on her. Ooh, there we go. Man, go flip.
Let's go. Let's go. We love
A man who flips.
that.
He walked away from the table, and I looked at his cousin, utterly confused, only to look over at his sister and to see her back was fully facing me. So I got up and went to ask what the heckle just happened. The conversation was about something we lost. My man did, lol. And apparently she said, well, maybe since you're home all day, you could look for it since he's busy all day in school. John, you've been dancing a lot.
I'm going to give you a live demonstration and you're going to see it too.
Show me those hips. Oh, damn. That is a good move. But you know what is also an amazing move?
What is that, Sam?
Becoming an OK Storytime member.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month. So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Well, let's get back to the story.
Oh, what? Wait, what? What just happened? What was that?
Basically, they
Who's in
lost
school?
something, and she was like, maybe since you're home all day, you could look for it since he's busy all day with school. So like saying like, you should go look for it. And I thought it was fairly innocent when he told me compared to some of the other things she said to me, but he said it was her tone that made it something she didn't need to say. So back to the whole wedding invite list. Longer story short, I don't want to invite her because she sucks. I have been working a lot on my boundaries. And again, I don't want anyone there who will cause drama or hasn't supported us in the past / been a douche canoe in any sense. But I fear when I brought that up, my partner wasn't exactly thrilled and thinks I'm being a bit harsh since we could be on good terms when we get married. My problem is I'm not interested in reaching out because I didn't do anything to her to warrant such bizarre behavior, and she's too egotistical to apologize or even realize she's been a jerk our whole relationship. So am I the a-hole for not wanting her at our wedding? There are some comments. There are some updates. What do we think, Dakota?
First of all, she's not so oblivious that she doesn't realize she's been being an a-hole. She knows exactly what she's been doing.
She's doing it on purpose.
She's been actively, consciously choosing to be this way to you.
Yeah.
And it is more than evident by the way that she switches up whenever certain people are around versus when she's alone with you. You do not need this creature at your wedding.
This is Doug says, protect your peace. Your wedding should be your most peaceful, joyous moment. And to have a sister that's a dummy to just corrupt that, no.
Why would the sister even want to go to the wedding? You don't like me. You don't like me. Why do you want to be here?
But comment one, I think it's crazy to be planning this far out. You don't even have a ring. Lots can happen in a couple of years, and it sounds like you might be that far out. That's true. It is.
Wait, there's no
early.
engagement? There's no nothing yet?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah, don't even
But
worry
having
about it.
said that, I wouldn't want her there either, but you have to accept that it will be a big source of controversy in his family. Comment 2, girl, you're only 22 and not even engaged. This is currently a non-issue. When the time does come and you actually start planning your wedding after getting engaged, remember that this is his wedding too. If he wants his sister there, she's going to be there. In 4 years of being together and her not liking you, you have just stayed away from her, or have you made attempts to befriend her, or even sat her down yourself and asked her why she does not like you? I will say not the a-hole, but only because it's not even a real situation because you're not engaged. But based on the fact that you're coming to Reddit to ask if you're an a-hole over a situation that you have essentially made up, I agree with whomever has told you you're dramatic. Hell, maybe Sarah doesn't like you because you're dramatic. And comment 3, not the a-hole. Talk to your fiance. They're not even engaged though, so it's not your fiance. Whether he's fully on board with not inviting his sister, this is one situation where I feel comfortable saying he's already showing support, so you can afford to give a little more leeway. Consider a compromise, like a family sit down, especially after your engagement. Yeah, if it's once you get engaged, then it's a thing.
Right.
Use this time to address your feelings and expectations and make sure that you and Hubs display a united front, and make sure sis is there and may be subject to no invitation due to bad behavior. While you may not want to give her another chance, it might help foster peace for his sake. Set boundaries together on how much more he's willing to tolerate from her. Ideally, none, since he already recognizes her behavior is unacceptable. Your desire to protect your boundaries and avoid drama is completely valid. It's your wedding, and it's important that you and your fiance feel comfortable with the guest list. You're already showing great communication, and approaching this together as a team will strengthen your relationship even more. A sit down might not fix everything, but it could bring clarity or closure. whether she's invited or not. And there's a little update. So someone in the comments asked how my partners, we will call him Tom now, parents are with Sarah / my relationship with them. So Tom's parents are pretty nice people. They're divorced and with other partners now, but I would say I have a decent relationship with both of them. Me and Tom's dad had a really long conversation about life on Christmas. That kind of thing settled my doubts about him possibly not liking me, as he had a lot of really positive and very fatherly things to say that sort of stopped making me doubt. I struggle with feeling as though I'm not liked pretty often, so that's part of why I feel crazy when it comes to Sarah. And his mom and I have a good relationship as well. She's kind of offered in a way to fill in for my own mom, even though she doesn't know much of why my mom and I aren't on good terms. But Sarah has always been the prize child, so Tom has always come second in the house. It's kind of been his whole life where he's been stuck in Sarah's world. He's constantly been stuck in that shadow. The unfortunate part is I know Tom's mother has a strained relationship with Sarah because Sarah also just bullies her and Tom's father over the divorce and just random other things, and they kind of cater to make her feel better. When she's around, there's plans with her. Everyone's expected to, when she's around or there's plans with her, everyone's expected to drop whatever they are doing, no matter what, and make sure to see her. Tom's mom and dad kind of just let her to be a bully and take the hits, and unfortunately, that's not really something I can bring up with them, and I know it's not my place. So essentially, she's the only one who has a problem with me on his side of the family. Also, I'd like to address the comments that are kind of mean. I do understand that this is kind of a weird question to be asking, and I did try to be transparent at the beginning that I know that I'm not trying to create any drama out of it, and that's why I came here to ask. By the way, if you don't want to create any drama with us, you should be listening to our podcast all the time, 24/7, by looking up OK Storytime, wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Right. And you don't want no drama with us?
No. There's another relevant update, and I'll get straight into it, because both of us are actively talking about what we want from our wedding, and right now, as it sits with both of us, we are ready to marry the other. That's not to say it'll be next month that he pops the question, but regardless, when we do it, it isn't really what I was asking for advice on. As we sit both, we want to be married by 24. That's the timeline we have for each other, and I do understand that all of this is hypothetical and anything can happen, but we have both been through it in the last 4 years as a couple. We still both know we are each other's person. Please stop being rude. I know it's a silly thing to be questioning right now, but I wouldn't have asked if I didn't think it was worth asking. And that is where that story ends.
I mean, I guess it pays to be thorough, you know?
Yeah, and to be fair, it does seem like they're like at the point where, yes, he hasn't popped the question, but they're actively planning the wedding. So it's like
getting to that point.
It's getting to that point. But that is where that story ends.
I refuse to be around my brother and sister-in-law. They're the worst.
Boo!
I, 26 female, have an older brother, 32 male. We used to get along really well, but things have changed over the years. A couple of years ago, my brother left our hometown for work. By the way, this comes from Bishade Balozot. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So with my father out of the picture, and that's a whole other extremely traumatic experience, I became the one to take care of our mother and the house because I stayed behind. I can't move out. I have 2 jobs, but I can't afford it. And my mother needs my help both economically and with her disability. She has mobility issues. I don't mind living with her or taking care of things, though the mental weight of it all is sometimes overwhelming. My brother and his girlfriend, 28 female, rarely come home to visit, and my brother isn't involved in anything related to my mother's doctor appointments, surgeries, or economic situation. He has the right to live his life as he sees fit, but it hurts me to see my mother worrying so much about someone who doesn't seem to care about her. I don't expect him to pay for anything, I just wish he would be more attentive. To the main issue, a year ago, I went out for dinner with my brother, his girlfriend, her sister, and her sister's partner. Suddenly, without any prompting, my sister-in-law started questioning every choice I had made in my life. She criticized the degree I studied, my decision to live with my mother, and when I said I was waiting for the right moment to move and would like to find a partner first, she made some really hurtful comments. She told me some people are just destined to be alone, like I'm the most unlovable person on the planet. I'm insecure, yeah, I'm human, and that's one of the things that I really worry about. She also said that she and my brother had discussed all of this many times, as if all they do in their free time is talk about my life. I'd like to think her words came from a place of concern, but it didn't feel that way, especially when it was unprompted and when all I have ever been was welcoming and kind to her. My brother said nothing. He just sat there watching her say all of those things without saying anything positive or defending me. I was completely frozen because I didn't expect that at all, especially not in front of 2 other people who had no right or reason to know about my already tough and depressing life. I didn't need her to say any of those things. I think about them enough as it is. Since then, I've tried to avoid spending time with them when they visit, but it feels wrong, especially with my brother because I love him so much. I can't forget how he didn't say anything that day. I stopped talking to him and both of them, and he hasn't really reached out until today. This weekend marks the start of our city's major holidays, and they're going to be here. He wants to hang out, but I do not know what to do. I should get over it and should have told him how hurtful her words were back then, but now I don't see the point. Back then, I didn't want to get in between them because my brother is genuinely happy with her. I refuse to get another life evaluation from people who don't even know how much I'm struggling to keep my head above water while studying and working 2 jobs. Thank you for reading. It felt good to let everything out. I'll try my best to answer any questions if you have any. And there are some comments and still a lot more to the story. So, I'm sure there's an update. Do you have any comments before we roll into these?
Nope.
No comments at all?
Not yet, other than keep your head down and get your grind on.
Yeah, I feel like even if some time has passed, you could still be like, hey, I know this happened a while ago, but it still kind of bugs me. And then you can still talk about it. But there are some comments. Commenter number 1 says, not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law is unhinged, selfish, and lacks self-awareness. What kind of person insults someone that is caring for a family member and your actions actually help her? If you were to move out, will she or your brother be helpful to your mother? No, they won't. She will tell your brother that your mom is an adult and he needs to live his own life, or call you selfish for not helping. You're 26 and still young. You're a caring and kind person. Hopefully, your mother appreciates this. Your brother should be helping you out financially to help look after your mom. Keep your distance from sister-in-law and defend yourself for your own sanity. And OP responds, I have to say I'm tearing up a bit after reading this because I really thought I was being crazy or selfish. That's exactly what she has done with her own family, and I believe that she was projecting on me in some twisted way. My mom is super grateful and we get along so well. I really don't mind helping her and being around her. I do all I can for her and I will still do it even when I eventually move out. I refuse to see her suffering if I can avoid it. That's what I will keep doing, yes. I don't think she does me any good in my life. Thank you so much, really. Your comment and advice mean a lot to me. And we do have an update. So, should we just roll right into it?
Respect yourself first and then
Yeah.
worry about if other people are respecting you or not. Like, in a situation, like, stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
If somebody's saying all this
Absolutely.
BS about you, stand up for yourself.
Definitely. So, into the update. Hi, guys. I wanted to give you a little update about the situation with my brother and his partner that I shared this week. Before that, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who's reached out and given me their time, advice, and kind words. I have tried to respond to everyone. I've answered some questions. Well, maybe this update isn't that big and nothing crazy happened, but it was big for me and I wanted to share. My brother came home yesterday. I wanted to talk to him then, but I didn't have the chance since my lunch break was too short and we weren't alone. He didn't mention hanging out again, so I didn't have the chance to talk with him about that either. Today, however, he was around my workplace and we went home for lunch together, just the 2 of us when I finished work. I know he knew that there was something wrong and he was trying really hard to make small talk, but I was having none of it. I can't recall the whole conversation word by word, but here are the main things that I told him about. First of all, I didn't want to hang out because I'm tired and stressed. I have told him about how I'm working, studying for a state teaching exam, and trying to finish my master's. That's all true, not an excuse on my part. I told him I am also annoyed by something that happened with his partner. I explained the situation to him and how it made me feel. He says he remembers and that he understands how I feel. I got the response I was waiting for, honestly. Almost nothing at all. But now he knows. He knows that she was out of place and that it was rude and unexpected. I have told him that I don't want any advice unless I ask for it. And even if I had asked for advice back then, the way she said the things that she said to me wasn't it. Even less in front of her family. He agrees on that and that she shouldn't have said anything, not in front of other people. I have a feeling that he was telling me what I wanted to hear at that point, though. I have told him that I need some time and space, that I don't want to go through any more situations like that, and that I'm going to take a step back and not be around them more than I need to. If he doesn't like it, well, that's his problem. I told him that I don't need people that come around once in a blue moon to tell me what I have to do. They don't know the situation we have, not really, so they shouldn't have an opinion about it. I'm I'm the one living the situation, so I know exactly how things are with or without his insight. I told him that they need to keep their advice to themselves if they aren't going to offer any help afterwards. Also, I mentioned how everything is on me. I mentioned the things that I have had to deny myself to make everything work. How now that we are waiting for my mom to have 2 major surgeries, everything is going to be on me, and how I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to do it all on my own. That when I look back at this time of my life, a big part of the things I'm going to remember is this deep loneliness and helplessness that I feel. To sum up, the biggest part of this for me is that I have spoken up for myself, that I have expressed my opinion and my feelings, and that I have set a boundary because, like I told him, I won't be receiving any more undesired advice, even if he tried to tell me that she did it out of her worry for me. Because he said that, he also said that she had mentioned it before too. Again, like I told him, her advice means nothing if it isn't accompanied by any kind of help. Empty words, that's all. I also told him how her life doesn't apply to mine, that maybe she had to stop following her dreams for her own reasons, but that I am fighting hard to follow them because I refuse to live a what if for the rest of my life. I also mentioned how I have never judged anyone or their choices. On the contrary, whenever I have had the chance to talk highly about them, and especially his partner, I have never wasted it because I genuinely appreciate them and wish happiness for the both of them, despite it all. I don't think things are going to change a lot, and probably I was too mild, but I feel so much lighter now anyway, because I don't have to pretend everything is all right, and I have expressed my feelings and worries so that he knows. Thank you so much again for reading and for all your help. You gave me the courage to sit down, order my thoughts, and be able to communicate them effectively. And there are some comments. This seems like it's going well so far.
I like it.
I like it.
Sometimes if people just won't shut up and stop yapping, and you've already been like, hey, don't want to hear it. It's okay. Save your breath. Don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And they just keep going. You can either just like completely just like tune that out.
Exactly.
Or you can be annoying about or whatever. But it's time to now just like make it like so clear. Like I'm not la 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 la. I'm not listening to you. Like shut up. Yeah. Just stop it.
Absolutely. And we do have some other comments. Commenter number 1 says, and when is he going to start chipping in with mom? OP responded, good question. I hope I could give you an answer, but I can't. All I know and can control is my own actions. Well, didn't they talk about it? I feel like she mentioned it, but we didn't hear any sort of response back from the brother. Yeah. That's upsetting, but we do have a second update, so maybe we'll get some news on that. So it has been a while, and I thought I would share a little update on my situation. There isn't much I can honestly do at this point, but I guess I just need to vent or something. I feel talking about it is going to help me, even if it's just a little bit. To give you a bit of context, a couple of months ago, I posted the subreddit. Don't worry about that, OP. We already know. The amazing people that took the time to reply to me and give me some advice all told me to talk things out, to tell him about things, how things were too much for me, and I needed him to be more present. I did that, and yep, you guessed it right. It didn't work at all. Not surprised about that. Kind of disappointed, but well, if there is something I have had to do since I was a teenager, it is to work things out on my own and keep myself standing. I have decided to, at least for now, cut him out because things are worse than ever, and I feel that he won't listen to me at all. Whoa, we're cutting out the brother. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Last week, my mom went through one of the 2 major knee surgeries that she needs. Everything went well, she's recovering well, and we are at home after a few days in the hospital. My brother hasn't called once, not her, even less me. He didn't even text me the day of the surgery to ask how things were going. Nothing at all. He hasn't bothered to come home either. Like, this has nothing to do with him. Like, his own mother is a stranger. The woman that took care of us when our father decided that he didn't want to be a part of our lives anymore. It breaks my heart. I don't care that I'm currently working 2 jobs and studying and have to take care of everything at home. I can do it. I know I can. What bothers me is the way that he doesn't give a dang about anyone but himself. Like, his life is the only one that can't be sacrificed or put on hold. Like, we aren't even his family anymore. My mom told me that she had asked about him about coming home for a visit. He told her that he just couldn't make it. He is 3 hours away from home, and in my country, you have the right to ask for free days if someone close in your family is having surgery. She told me that he is planning to come home around the second half of February. I told her that he shouldn't even bother. And that's what I want to avoid. My mom has enough on her plate as it is. I don't want to add anything else complaining about my brother's behavior and making her suffer in the process. People around us don't stop asking her why he isn't around, and I know how much it hurts her because she doesn't know. She doesn't understand. She isn't perfect, none of us are, but me and my brother both know that she has fought tooth and nail to make sure that we had everything we needed. We are lucky to have some wonderful people around us, especially my best friend. It was one of the days at the hospital when it finally clicked that I had to let him go because I don't deserve to beg for the bare minimum, because I don't need him at all. My best friend, who was with me all day when my mom underwent her surgery and that visited us every day in the hospital, was there one morning with us. She was helping my mom to move around the room, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. This is what family does for their loved ones. This is what my brother should be doing right now beside me. But he wasn't. He was miles away, and I have never felt further away from him, emotionally and physically, like the man he was once was simply gone. In his place, this stranger that couldn't care less. Next to us in the room, there was an older lady, her kids right beside her, taking turns to be with her, being a team. I thought he was dense as heck, but no, this is simply him being selfish, running away from all and every responsibility that could fall on his shoulders. That's what my aunt said about it. She didn't want to talk crap about my brother, but she ended up telling me this, making sure I understood she gets it. Like I said, I have cut all contact with him. I have blocked them both on WhatsApp too. I don't want him to speak to me, and I don't want to talk to him either, because nothing I can tell him is going to make him understand, because he simply doesn't want to. I'm afraid of saying something I will regret later, not because he doesn't deserve it, but because I will have to live with the guilt of having spoken up when I wasn't doing my best mentally. It hurts a lot because we used to be close, but he has become a stranger, someone I can't count on. That just comes around once in a while for a short visit like he is staying at a hotel. But you guys should come around to your favorite podcast app, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever you choose, and search OK Storytime, because you're going to find full episodes with more stories just like this one. Wow, but there's a little bit more to this story, but this was a turn I wasn't expecting. The brother is slacking over here.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do if you feel like you gotta do it.
That's just so true.
You
You're
know,
so right about that
if what
one.
you gotta do is what you gotta do, you gotta do it.
Yeah, but there is a little bit more to the story. So maybe I didn't make any sense on this post. Sorry about that. I'm super tired and also super mad, but I felt like letting everyone that commented on my previous post know that I tried my best, but I failed. And that above all, I appreciate their help, kindness, and advice. This ending, or at least this situation, wasn't what I wanted, but it will probably be the best for me to simply cut all ties since I was apparently the only one holding tightly onto them. Thanks for everything, for listening, and for being kind. And there are some comments. Commenter number 1 says, not the a-hole. I'm so sorry your brother is so weak and useless. You are a blessing to your mom, and those of us reading this are impressed and thankful for what you do for your mom. God bless you. And that's the end of that story.
And that's the end
Wow.
of that.
I don't want you to think that you failed, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you did your best. It's him that's failing, you guys.
Let's take it
So-
a little easy on the self-harshness. huh?
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
give ourselves a little more grace, yeah? Perhaps.
My sister accused me of not caring about her, so I stopped calling.
I'll show you not caring.
My 28 female sister, 33 female, who we'll call Jane, moved out of our parents' house when she was 18 and joined the Portuguese Navy. After that, she only visited on the weekends, if she was not working. We used to be very close prior to this, despite our little sisterly fights. By the way, this comes from user Rafi96Lucas, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. However, after she moved out, we started to drift away, and our relationship hit a brick wall when she had a fight with our mom, 56 female, because she was drinking too much. This ended up with her going no contact with the entire family for about a year and a half. During this time, as I found out from my cousin, she met Mark, as they all worked together. They started dating and then moved in together. The next time I talked to her was when I found out she was pregnant with my niece.
What?
Surprise! I was wasted, but I admit I was an a-hole and said some crap I shouldn't have said. I apologized for it, and things seemed to go back to normal between us. However, she was still low contact with our parents and myself, and no contact with the rest of our family on our mom's side. Now, this is where it gets funny. I got my driving license 3 days before the birth of my niece.
Okay.
However, I had no idea she had gotten into labor until my godmother, 58 female, who works in the hospital in our town, called me to tell me that my sister had been admitted and was in the process of delivering my niece. My godmother was the first one of the family, aside from my brother-in-law, 34 male, who we will call Mark, and my sister, to see their baby girl. We visited on the same day, of course, but she was there earlier and even checked in on her and the baby. After she left the hospital, my godmother only got news of the baby from me and my mom. At that time, we had no idea what was happening, but stay tuned, because I will explain.
I'm staying. I'm right here.
Please. She returned to her house, about a 1-hour drive from our town, along with Mark. She only called twice a week and never answered my calls. Fast forward about 3 years, we were all together. My parents, myself, my girlfriend, 43 female, Jane, my sister, Mark, brother-in-law, and my niece, along with my dad's, 61 male, side of the family in a party in his village. My sister was not drinking, which everyone but Mark found very odd. Guess what? She's pregnant. Again.
What?
This time, it's a beautiful baby boy. Jane and Mark had promised me, when she was pregnant with my niece, that I would be the next baby's godmother. Therefore, I was super excited about having a godson and immediately started planning a ton of fun stuff we can do all together, Jane and myself, while she was pregnant. However, she was never available. When the baby was born, they decided to choose someone else as the godmother.
They
And
bamboozled her.
They bamboozled her.
Dang.
Not gonna lie, that hurt like. Anyway, about 2 years ago, during the vid, Mark proposed.
Oh.
No one in our family was present, and we only found out when she told us that she wanted our dad to give her away. We were happy for them, although very surprised. Dad agreed, and she started planning the wedding. Due to the vid, they had to reschedule and ended up getting married in July 2023. That is a whole other drama, but I'll try to keep it short. She didn't invite anyone on our mom's side of the family who helped raise her to be the woman she was before the drinking situation. My father's side of the family was in the wedding party, but myself and my mom were basically normal guests. She wanted to use my car to get to the ceremony and was upset because, in her words, we were late to pick her up for the ceremony. We left our town 2 hours ahead of time, but on the way, we caught an accident on the road and ended up being 2 minutes late for the time we had agreed to be there.
2 minutes? Calm down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I had to carpool with someone else because she didn't want me to arrive at the same time as her. Interesting. My girlfriend drove my car to the ceremony and told me my sister was witching the whole time about us being late when I had called her and told her about the accident as soon as we found out, and that's why the traffic was so bad. Anyway, they got married. It was beautiful, and everyone cried.
Oh.
This was close to lunchtime, so the reception extended into the night. However, after lunch, as one of her friends took her kids and my nephew to get a nap, I told my sister that myself and my mom needed to go check in as we were spending the night and the host was waiting for us. For a reminder, she was the one who planned everything and she knew everything that would be happening in the wedding and what time it would be happening. She never told us. Because of traffic, we took about a 1-hour drive to arrive to the house that was 30 minutes away to check in and ended up missing her first dance, and
Aw.
she was very upset. There is zero communication here.
Yeah, absolutely not. Because they weren't even told what time it even started, but they still, right?
Yeah,
But they still tried to get there on time.
I get it. Weddings are stressful, but if you're planning everything for everyone or planning things for your family members,
Yeah.
you should let them know all the big details.
Like what the plan is.
Yeah.
and all.
We apologized, of course, but we had no idea that it would take so long, and we had no idea that the first dance would be during that time. From what my girlfriend told me, only her and my dad were present during the dance, and that's why my sister was so upset. So, myself and my mom missed the first dance, but so did my father's side of the family, as they had gone to check into their house 1 hour before myself and my mom left, and they only returned 2 hours after us. They were staying 10 minutes away.
Oh my gosh.
After this, she went to her honeymoon, but called every day and always answered the phone as we were babysitting the kids, and she wanted to make sure everything was okay. Obviously, we were not calling all the time, just once or twice a day, so they could talk to the kids. 3 months later, they had a few vacation days and decided to spend them in our hometown. This did not go well.
Uh-oh.
Remember when I said it was funny that my godmother was the first one to see my niece? Well, it turns out my dad's sister, 59 female, has been talking crap about my godmother, and my sister believed her. For a little background information, my sister was taken in by my parents after my dad's younger sister, her bio mom, passed away in a motorcycle accident when she was 3?
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yikes.
However, she was always raised as their daughter and my sister, and was never discriminated for that. But according to my aunt, who never wanted to take care of her and ran away from her when she saw us, which is why she was taken in by my parents, my godmother said something along the lines of, "If it wasn't for my sister and brother-in-law, you would be in the foster care system."
Dude, that's harsh. That's harsh.
What do
man.
we? What's all this negativity for?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I guess if no one took me in, then I guess, but like, why? It just feels so aggressive.
But
saying
guess
it like
what?
that. Yeah.
She was taken in.
She was.
So why are we okay?
Yeah.
My sister yelled at my parents that they had allowed her to say something like that to a kid of 5 years old, and she didn't want to have anything to do with them anymore. This is when I got pissed. My girlfriend was sitting next to me trying to calm me down, but Mark said she had nothing to do with it as we were only dating for 2 years, and she is not part of the family. She was my friend for 5 years before we started dating. My girlfriend got up and went outside. As soon as this happened, my sister proceeded with yelling at our mom and got up with some kind of intention, if you know what I mean. A little
Uh-oh.
physical. Of course, I would never allow anyone to touch my mom, so I also got up. She shoved me, but wasn't able to get me out of the way, and suddenly, all I saw was my girlfriend in the middle of the two of us, begging me to calm down. I noticed my fist was close to my sister's face, and I decided to leave and take my mom home.
Ooh.
My girlfriend made me go back after my mom was home, so my sister and I sat down and we talked. My sister apologized at first, but then she hit me with a, "You never cared about my kids. You don't even call anymore." Mind you, I used to call every day. However, she never answered and didn't call back, so I stopped calling. No point in wasting my time with someone who clearly doesn't want to talk to me. Anyway, in September, she found out Mark was cheating on her with one of her friends. I just like that segue.
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh. Anyway.
Mark was cheating on her.
Adultery.
As soon as I found out, I called her, asked her if she needed anything, and offered my support as any good sister would do. Jane then thanked me and said she just needed time. So I gave her exactly that. I messaged her every day to check on her, but didn't get a response, so again, I stopped reaching out. She called me once after that to ask me for help getting an extra job. This was because they had just moved to a new home when she found out about the cheating. And guess what? Never called again, nor answered my calls until about 2 weeks ago. And this is where I'm afraid I might have been a bit of a gigantic a-hole. 2 weeks ago, I got epically wasted, like needing subtitles to be understood when I was talking. I ended up posting a few pictures of the kids on my IG stories and crying looking at them as I haven't seen them since last summer of August 2024. I'm always working on weekends, so I can't go see them, and when I do have days off, it's school days, so they won't be able to see me. Not to mention, I have no clue where their house is. Jane saw my IG story and called me at 7 in the effing morning. I didn't answer for obvious reasons. I was extremely hungover the next day, and even if I wasn't, I was in no state to talk with anyone. By the way, you can talk with us 7 a.m., 8 a.m., whenever you want,
Whenever.
by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. You can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, wherever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. There is a little bit left in this. We've said it this entire story.
Yeah.
communication here is
Yes.
such a problem.
Yeah.
With, it seems like your sister, but also you. Like, I know you reach out, but you haven't really talked to your sister about, hey, our communication skills are not great.
Yeah.
So let's try and figure this out where we can try maybe talk on Wednesdays or Sundays. At least,
Right.
try and figure out a schedule where you can see your nieces and your niece and your nephew,
Mhm.
and you can see your sister a little bit more.
Yeah.
But anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like everyone is kind of avoiding the problem until it blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it's,
wholeheartedly agree.
yeah, like you just can't let that happen. It just feels like everyone is just genuinely or generally so distant from each other that it's like it's making it hard to communicate because it seems like they don't talk about like big things that often or something, or I don't know. It's very upsetting when it in that situation where she was like, I'm calling all the time. You just like, I'm not calling anymore because you never answered. So it was like, there was no point in calling. And now it's being
100%.
thrown back at her.
Now it's like, oh, I'm trying to reach out to you, and now you don't want to talk to me. Let's go ahead and finish this up. Hopefully you guys can figure it out. Again, talk it out. Let's see what happens.
I don't have very high hopes.
Me neither. I messaged Jane and asked her why she called me, but she left me on red for a while before just texting that I didn't give a crap about her. Again, the communication here is so poor. So, after all this, am I the a-hole for not calling? She's the one who went no contact with everyone in the family, so I don't think I am, but I want to know what y'all think. Edit. I did ask my godmother about the she said situation. My godmother did admit to saying it, but according to her, my sister was already an adult when she said it. Jane was 18 or 19 years old at the time. With the godmother thing, it don't matter if you're 5 years old, 15 years old, 60
Yeah.
years old. You don't say that. That's just really messed up.
Yeah, absolutely.
On to you, OP.
Hmm.
Are you the a-hole for cutting contact?
I don't
Though
think
I think
so.
everyone here is just kind of somewhat of an a-hole because
Yeah.
the way you guys are handling the situation is so high school, where it's
Mm.
like, no, you won't message me, so I'm not gonna message you. It's a little petty.
Yeah, I get that. That is something I don't like.
You
But-
obviously care about your sister. You obviously care about her family, your niece, your nephew. You care about them. You want to see them.
Yeah.
If you continue this way of I don't care, I'm gonna contact, you're never gonna see them again, and you're just gonna regret it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you just need to own it up and one, talk to your sister, not through text, but
Mhm.
actually genuinely talk to her and be like, hey, both of us are communicating so poorly here.
Yeah.
How do we figure this out?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a great point because it's like I was thinking, no, you're not the a-hole because if she was doing that first. But at the end of the day, if you guys do want to like rekindle your relationship and eventually talk to each other, someone's got to do it. It doesn't really matter who
Someone has
cut
to own up
contact.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
So
It's a silly game. At this point, it just
Yeah.
seems like a silly game of like crappy telephone.
yeah, I
So-
totally agree. So I not the a-hole, but you can do something.
You can do something rather than being like, I'll be petty.
Yeah.
Don't be petty. Be
Exactly.
be the bigger person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you guys, you want to hang out, you want to talk, and you guys need to figure it out on the communication problems here. That's it.
Exactly.